Am I on? I'm on. Okay. Appreciate Mr. Yahuah. They jump right in that instant. See that? That's what I'm saying. Go on and push it out now. Gotta have it in you. Someone would have had to drop the mic and walk on. I don't remember them lyrics. That's all right. We appreciate it. Ain't that right? Did a great job too now. They did a great job with it. Y'all give them a hand clap. Appreciate it. What they did is what we all have to do. Learn how to let him stay primary. They never move from primary. Stay primary. It'll work out. They could have cut off. You got to stay primary. If they don't work out your way, you can't stop. Can't quit because it ain't going your way. But you got a paper towel. You've been sweating. Some pews open. Pews. What are it? Pores? Yeah. Whatever, riders on that. I messed up my back on them pews. Remember that? They got that stuff on. Put all kind of hospital document. Riley had been drinking no water, gonna put on them pews. Pews ain't hurt nobody. These pews ain't help, ain't it? I let y'all turn the air on, then. If they sweat, y'all don't need no air on. That's the last thing y'all need, you sweat. And then your pores are open, trying to release your heat. So your pores are open, you're susceptible to weather things coming in, as well as the heat getting out of it come in too. You'll be sick. Y'all know the weather changing up out here. You gotta start transitioning with the weather now. Y'all still, you can't stay summer. This stuff changes up. Nighttime, that thing will drop on you. You're behind, be sick, be laid up there with that. Something like COVID. Something like COVID had you in the trouble. Now you can't mess around with this stuff. This stuff serious out here. Man, everybody's sick. Everybody, doctor's sick. I had to go to the hospital last week, just get checked out. I said, you ain't got no mask on? She said, I said, you ain't worried about COVID? She said, oh, I'm immune to COVID. They come in here somewhere. I said, all right, that's you. See you on the news next week, be laid up dead somewhere. I'll be playing with these people. These folks coming on all kind of new stuff. You know, you think about in the healthcare field, man, you got a lot of risk. Because you dealing with literal sick people. With us, you like heard somebody cough at the store, they might have it. When you go in the hospital, all them people sitting out, them people sick. Isn't that right? They try to give me some on one bed, and I said, y'all trained that? Oh, sit on this one. So you gonna let me sit on this? I don't play no stuff like that. Listen, they don't change that stuff. They so busy behind them. They made them nasty. You gotta bring your own sheets and pillows. You go to the hospital now. You'll get more diseases, catch staph infections, everything are right there in the hospital. And I'm not trying to just criticize. It's because people not doing their job. It ain't purpose. It's just the fact that people so lazy and people don't think about other. Any restaurant we go to, people ain't watching all them silverware, man. You better be praying. All them glass in the car, I used to be a busboy. I know I washed all my stuff back there. I ain't do it. We had a machine. That heat used to burn you so bad. It'd be 4 minutes, they just run that stuff straight back out there. They'll watch what they eat, but they don't realize they go to other places. You pay for what you do. If people do that now, I seen some nasty folks out here. You gotta be real careful with these people going to these places. You can't trust these people. I don't care where they put meat out here in France. Subway, all them too. I just change them gloves. You know, them jokers go right there, handle that register, come right back at that stoplight. I said, what you doing? I had to cut someone. I said, what you doing? I said, not mine. Trying to go, you good? I don't want to eat from everything you've been touching. I tell you, this ain't the job for you. I need you to change them gloves. I tell them, I'll be playing, grab that knife. So what you doing with that knife? That's not mine. You wash that knife off. I said, this thing got mayonnaise been cutting pork. I said, you good? Well, I don't eat it. That ain't my problem. You shouldn't sell it. Isn't that right? They tell you folks, man, customer service. People get in food service. You get in a certain job, you're a server. They're like me. I can't be nasty to people. I'm in a customer service oriented job. And sometimes I've been guilty. But then you have to start realizing how you deal with people is important. How you want people to deal with you. This is what I want us to do. Debo. Oh, come on. Hey, man. My dad tripping. He said, let me get my bike. But let me say, y'all, these folks sick. Don't play it. Y'all ain't give me any melon that mess. Also, Deuce knows some nice stuff you sent on the phone last night. Deuce is pretty clever. I was gonna be mad. I said he's pretty good about that. All right, we're gonna let him go ahead and sign the cartos around. I'll tell you what we're looking to do. All right. listen, all I can do is apologize to the people at home. We don't ever know. We don't ever know what you're gonna get when you tune in, so we apologize. It's all unscripted, unrehearsed. We definitely appreciate those that watch and support, comments, everything you do as well, listening in. You get a certain age, I told you, don't take much. Whew, a little water go down the wrong way. That man know he's sick. But yeah, if y'all can put him on vibrate. Oh yeah. That's what I'm thinking. So but what I do want us to do is start looking at outside and finish grad. I appreciate those watching though again the support. Definitely humbled with the fact that they take time out to listen to us. Certainly you can go somewhere else and sit down and be in person somewhere, but they take time out to fellowship with us. To sit there. That's just how special you guys are. That people to take time on the outside to sit down and watch and view in what we're doing right here. And they take a chance at seeing something crazy going on. And they probably already got bets, so they're probably going to Las Vegas. It might be a big chart up down in Las Vegas. Who's going to be the first one to get the check? Who y'all think be the first person? Don't even say it out, but in your mind, just have your name. Because then the person might try to not get the check. You never know. Who y'all think be the first person you have in your mind? Do y'all feel like somebody going to get a check today? So, now, Vegas might have a bet on how many people would y'all say going to get a check? 2 people. 10. 10 people? 6? 8. What you say, Rick? Some say 8, 5, 6, 10, 2. How was that, 2? 20. It depends. They start that cantaloupe junk again. It get pretty rough in here. I don't know. I know Sarah got 5 out the rip. She told to tell a cantaloupe joke. I don't know what made her think to tell that. I'm like, really? You was in the wrong. Your mind was really in the wrong place. Yeah, but anyway, I do want us to look at, I guess, kind of like detoxify. Can we see what detoxify is? I'm curious on what's the definition. I know it. You know, I have a very good idea. I'm just curious of what is detoxify or detox. Either one. I'm saying detoxify or detox. Let's see detox first. Yeah. A process or period of time in which one abstains from or rids the body of toxic, unhealthy substance detoxification. Y'all got that? A process or period of time in which one abstains from or rids and get rid of the body of toxic or unhealthy substance detoxification. Y'all got that? That's something we need to look at, detox. We need to rid the body. That's what we're getting ready to endeavor on now and doing with the Kafar. Boston, they stopped me last night to talk to me about some things. So we'll have it'll be a conversation today. We'll go and look at it. I had to leave last night, but we'll just look at it together and see how it work out. The book is right on every point, every end. It's all about what you're trying to do. Depending on where you are in your endeavor, your attempt, it makes a major difference on what you'll do. And just being honest, it depends on what you're trying to do. For me, I try to have, I think this morning, sometime in the morning when I prayed, it was several times. So, you know, I just want to have a real conversation about me. What it is I'm really willing to do, and I want to be practical in what I want to do and what I'm trying to do. You can run real fast and you'll crash. Sometimes people will run, they got to get everything right immediately. That's a good mindset, but you got to be practical. And saying that, now somebody heard, that's right, preacher, that's why I'm taking my time. You just lazy. You gotta, it's such a key balance in between not running too fast, and it's a process to where people use that for an excuse of while they're not actually growing. So you have to be real careful about what you hear, because if you're a person already, you easy to succumb to quitting, procrastination, then you heard exactly what you need to hear. Versus you got to be, sit down and be practical. How much are you willing to give up? How much are you willing to give up? And I don't think people are realistic. Sometimes I think people look and say, if everybody say, just hypothetically, we said we're doing, so we need everybody to give $100, and some people might take the conviction, well, some of them giving $100, I'm gonna give $100, but that might not be conducive for you, for what you're doing. So you wind up doing it out of even the book tells us about not doing it of necessity. If it's a need to you, then you just go ahead and keep it. And that's where the failure came in when they came down to Ananias and Sapphira. When everybody sold their possessions and they gave the money, laid at the Shalakim feet, the apostle feet, Carl clearly told you. He said, when it was yours, he said, you do what you want to do with it. He said, but you didn't have to lie about it. See, that people don't realize that they could have just gave what they wanted and said, this ain't everything I got, but this is what I feel like I can afford to give. Because look, because they said, he asked them, he said, well, tell me, did you give everything? Kind of, I guess, depending on how you look at it. Okay. So you done took it upon yourself to tell a lie about it. And you know the truth of the matter is we look at that and don't consider. But he put it right back to let them know. When it was in their power, he said you could have did what you wanted to do with it. Rather than you tell a lie about doing it, or rather you doing it and it's of necessity, or you doing it grudgingly. See, a lot of times people do things, you put your own self in transgression. It's important to really sit down and look at what we're doing. Really looking at being from an understanding point of self, knowing how self needs to progress. How many of y'all feel like you feel like you are progressing? Okay, it's a process. That's what we do. Let me tell you something. When the word comes, this is what we'll do. How we go. Again, y'all have to excuse me. I don't have anything wrote up, so I'm kind of at a disadvantage when I come in on each time we come in here. But not saying it as an excuse or anything. But I try to leave myself open. That's why it's key to for me to make sure I don't have no junk going on. Make sure I ain't got nothing going on with nobody. Cause it just limits you. You see what I'm saying? It limits. Just say if it was something that was directed, a message, or was directed towards you. If it's conflict with me and you, it's gonna be hard for you to discern whether it's actually a message from Elohim or is it just me trying to slight you. Or, you see what I'm saying? So it's so important when you do things to make sure you're clear on so many ends. Even with Pelotus, when everybody agreed on crucifying Yahushua, you notice what he did? He washed his hand, let the people know, I'm good. Listen, I'm clear. This is your choice. This is yours. It's good for you to know. Just cause the crowd started moving, he said, I can't prevail these people. I just want to go on record as saying, I am clean from this man's death. This is you guys' choice. You do what you want to do. And this is what we're trying to do. In a sense, what he was trying to do was to detoxify itself. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to detoxify ourselves from the process for a period of time in which one abstains from or rids, get rid of the body of toxic or unhealthy substance detoxification. That's what we're trying to do. Now, I look this up with y'all. When I look at these words, I look them up with y'all because listen to me, I'm not afraid to grow with you. It don't take me long. Once I see it, then I go to work. I want us to grow together. I think sometimes people look at it and feel like you're at a disadvantage. You're not at a disadvantage. We're growing together. Just like when I teach you, I'm being taught as well. We all grow together. When you talk about till we all, what was that coming to? What was it? Only way we're going to do it, we all got to have the same information. What's going to come and bring us together? Just like the United States. Only they call the United States because they were all separate. They were colonies, people divided. So they brought them all under one umbrella, giving them all one principle, giving them all one flag. Each state had their own individual flag, but when it's the United States, you got to have that flag. So we all still have our individuality as people, but we got a constitution that brings all those together. Y'all got it? And then we all subscribe to the same doctrine. It's certain things states will do. It's certain things federal will override. Not based upon you being a part of the United States. You can't do that. Hello? We got regulations. So our goal is to come and see what things we need to rid. That's why we get ready to endeavor on this. There are things we need to get rid of. And it not just the food or the drinks that people are looking at. These are symbolic type things because these are things, sources that people use to eat, survive. Eating, drinking, you do all this to survive. But let's be practical. There's other things you gotta do too. You need shelter, there's other things you gotta have, clothes, besides just eating and drinking. Because these are things we look at as humans that we say, I need these things. It's like, sir, when you say, what do you need with all them shoes? They say, well, I need shoes for the winter. Then springtime, I need sandals. Then I need other stuff for the summer. You're like, that don't make sense. You ain't got but 2 feet. They say, yeah, but I need things that as the weather things transition, I want to be able to transition with it. But for us, there are a lot of things we got that we think we need to transition with. We don't. We don't. We just wind up accumulating a whole lot of things, and that gives us a whole lot more excuses on what we need to do. Why we can't do it, what's holding us back. If I didn't have this obligation, our obligation to Elohim was before you made obligation with other people. Whether you found out, whenever you found out, don't make a difference. It's still you had an obligation with him first. If you didn't know it, they don't make it that. Now we're gonna disannul it because you just found out after you received it, after you got it. The fact of the matter is, now it comes in and put us in responsibility, just saying, hey, what are you gonna do when you find out? He said, once you know it's sin. So if you didn't know it, it's a lot of things I didn't know then, but you find out now. He said, well, once you know it, it's sin. You said, well, I can't go back. I don't know how. It's sin. What, you going to stay in it? Once you know it's sin. So it's a lot of things people try to use for excuse. Well, that was back in, once you know it's sin, you have to have your mind in that state. That's just being honest. Once you know it's sin. So once you know, you got to realize you become accountable for your actions. So regardless of what you use to try to justify, your procrastination, your hesitation, or your unwillingness to be more proactive in your transition for salvation, you need to stop it. Slothful. Like I said, some of y'all come in right before we get started. Should have been up here, ready, should have been performing. Who might that be? Anybody? On one. Come on, big man, get that check. You know I was talking about you. Come on, big man. You don't wait, get ready. Oh, man, I'm almost back there, about to sit in your lap. Man, what you doing? You just got here. Why you get a check already? Said, just what time you come? Keisha, why you laugh? Put one up for Keisha, too. It's the man and his wife. Yes, son. What's that? Y'all better don't care. Hold on. How many had their head bet on Karen? Karen, look at these folks, Karen. Karen, look at all these folks. There's folks at home, too. You ain't even seen the folks. Do me a favor. Give me a second. Put that back up. I want to find the people at home who voted. Hold on. Let's just say that. Let's serve. Hold on. For those at home that had your money on Carrie first, I'm going to turn right survey say. So we got you up here. We're going to turn and see what the survey says, okay? How many folks going to vote and tell us? All right, we're going to get ready. Out of 100-some people at home that's watching us, we're going to turn around and find what the survey says. We got any voted yet? Come on, where y'all at? We need to get them votes in. Las Vegas waiting. Isn't that right? They betting on Colorado and Carrie. Either they 1-1 or 2. All right, we're going to get ready to turn around and see what the survey says, okay? It probably not yet. Okay, they told me not yet. Probably ain't nobody, but someone probably voted on who? John. Who would you have voted on? For what? He's named for what? That's another check. And anybody had that on say, now, who you would have voted on would have probably got the first check today? If you had to think of somebody else that you know deserve a check too.
I don't know.
Who would you say here like they be getting by? Preacher be letting them get by.
I don't know. You load the gun, scattered over the people.
He's not loaded the gun, scattered. There's 3 checks. I'm trying to preach on the slide. I don't know. He got some members out there secret high. We got some votes up down. All right, we're gonna get ready to turn around. Survey says. Who we got on here? Who we got? Where we start here? Danielle betting on you. Chavis, he said guilty. E had you up there. EHS had you up there 91. Liz betted on you. Boogie got you. One time, White Chris. Wow. That's a good one. Bill got you up there. Run it to the young and them voted on you. Isaiah done voted on you. Michelle, Angela Davis betting on Carrie. Isaiah. Carrie, what are you doing? Reading folks betting on you like that, Carrie? Go get them 2 checks though. Don't try to run out there 2 more. Goodness already. That's 3 checks already. Now y'all bet on number 2. Just get Vegas ready. Just hold your bet. Anybody got an ideal on 2? That's all. How many of y'all got an ideal on who be number 2? What's it? You do? Okay, you say, you got you saving it. Oh my goodness. I mean, he gonna try to make his number 2 be right. But we're gonna look at this. I appreciate them. Somebody had Chris up here. Chris, they got your name up here twice. He said the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses. Come on, Chris, my brother just called. That book, y'all. What we gonna do with that? We can't do nothing with book. Now, how many had their hands on Chris? Goodness, look at Chris. Chris, look at all these folks. As a white man, Chris, how did it make you feel?
I mean, you preached it. You said if they ain't got nothing to do, they worried about you.
Oh my goodness. How do you make, Justin, how did it make you feel in the white race seeing a white man, the second person get a check?
We have different levels of the white race. So
Got different levels of the white race. You're not at the level where he had to come in. Okay. We appreciate that. Only here, y'all. I don't know what we're doing. He said, brother called in today. That's right. You know my brother called. My brother always white. He told me when he said, I'll be watching. We'll get ready to look at Romans 15:4. So we go ahead and establish a foundation. Romans 15:4, for those of white, Beth Ha Mashiach is this program we use. All right, listen.
For whatever Nigatah before.
We talked about whatever, didn't we? What did we say whatever was last night, Layla? You said lack of restriction? Referring to anything or an amount, whatever. Or referring to anything or an amount. Based on, he had it from how we read. That's a different definition reading. But saying, okay, that gets down more to it, talking about restrictions. So there's no restrictions when it comes to the word. You need to understand that. No restrictions. You got restrictions on you. Y'all know that? That's why you got gravity. You can jump, you can do all that stuff, but you got to come back down. Those are restrictions. That's why you got boundaries of things you can't do. All those restrictions. And Elohim set them for you. And you know why? Let's see. For whatever was written before, no matter the amount, was written, katab, to
Lamidas.
show us, teach us, instruct us. Remember those key patterns. So that through
endurance,
going through, remember, without giving away or quitting, and through
the Nakum,
consolation
of
the writings, plural,
we might have Tikva.
What we said Tikva was?
Cord.
Cord. How do we say we look at the cord? As a lifeline. That's right. It's a symbolism of hope. If a person, we talk about if you're down in a hole and you get a rope to pull you up, it's a lifeline. That's how they understood hope. How the Aboth, which are the fathers, how they understood things were a little different to us. You know what I'm saying? It means I have a chance. If I'm down in something I can't get out and a rope is let down to me, I've been climbing I can't get it. I can't get somebody to reach and get me. And then a rope come down, it gives me refound new life. Because now I have a better chance at accomplishing what I'm trying to do. So now it's starting to look at Tikva a little different. I tell you what kind of held us back with kind of looking at this word better, me. Because I kind of hung up on their letterings. The Aleph chart, y'all want honesty. Y'all give you honesty. Honesty is when I receive the Aleph chart and having to look at it and learn it and deal with it, then you look at how things are told to you. People can limit you on a lot of things. People fight a lot of things. It's easy to fight something you don't know. Right. It don't. Think about it. My wife come in the house. She opens the door and come in the house. Do I shoot her? Do I fight her? I know her, so I don't perceive her as a threat. But if someone else came in my house I don't know, then I'm going to have to react at the end of this could be my life. You could be trying to hurt me or kill me. So I immediately have to fight you or kill you or do something to you, drastic. So a lot of times we don't be careful. This is what we do with the word. When it's something we don't know, we don't recognize, we'll just fight it to kill it. And we feel like it's taking away our life when it's actually not. It's just like with Yahuah coming and putting these different restrictions on us. For us, I mean, it's like he was killing these things we didn't know. We didn't have them before. You came and you got people, when you got Adam and he created Adam, he said, well, with Adam, I give him his restrictions at the start. So he operated day one with restrictions. But for us, you came and got us out of Mizraim, we didn't have restrictions like that. A lot of things he started impeding on us, we found out that we came out and said today you won't be doing any of that stuff you did before. Like what? Like marrying your aunt, marrying your sister, doing different things. Because this was a way of life. Like people look now like this is so strange now. I don't agree with it now. Don't think I am. But people don't realize people did this for years. This is how people procreated with sisters and brothers and aunts and uncles, people did a lot of this stuff that happened. But Yahuah came and established in and let us know, said, I have to serve you from a people. So in serving you, which is separate you from a people, I got to give you a different way of life. Now I'm going to show you, and what I'm doing, and him showing us that, now we come back and condemn things that man came along. That's how man evolved. Okay, where did Cain get his wife from? He had to marry with his relatives. But this is what I gather. You want to understand. What I gather is he allowed man to get into a situation. Then he came back to let man know, now you got to put that away. You know why it makes sense if you look at it? Abraham married his sister. Sorry, but let's just be practical. When you have a minimum amount of people, how's you going to procreate? It wouldn't have been logical in man to evolve if he had put a restriction on at the beginning when Adam and Yaquarah was, and I said that a man couldn't sleep with his sister, and a sister couldn't sleep with a brother, and a brother couldn't sleep with an aunt, because how was man going to create? They'd have died right down. So a lot of things, and this now, like we'll look at stuff, we say, that's nasty, it's filthy. I agree. It's only because he gave you the law to tell you that. You wouldn't have known that yourself. Man had as a culture. That's how man evolved. Who walked around and told Abraham? You know how the people said, man, what? Man, you a sinner. You married your sister? They just said, you didn't tell us it was your wife. You didn't tell, when you say your sister, you didn't tell us because once she became your wife, she wasn't your sister anymore. Had you gave us that definition, then this whole situation would have been different. But for me, I see him allowing us to go and do things so man can see himself and come back and restrict man with law. So the way we saw things was a normal way of life. Now, since a law was impeded or been implanted or been set, now you look at it, somebody say, hey man, how you doing? This is my wife. You say, okay, how y'all married? Oh, well, this is my sister. You like, hold on, what? You said, what? Your sister? You said, yeah, they did it back in it. So you can't do that no more, brother. See, it was to show man, regardless of how men go, when the law comes, it restricts that behavior. It doesn't matter. It restricts it. It can't be right anymore. It was right before, but it can't be right anymore once the law comes to show, man, I override what you said. Man needs restrict. He comes back to show you, if you don't see your way is wrong, you ain't gonna change. That's what a lot of people have. You thinking you just need to do better. You don't say, I'm wrong. That's a big difference. I need to do better and I'm wrong is two different statements. I be doing pretty good, but I could do better than that. Versus I'm wrong. So you can play with words, and words will keep you in the same rut. People talking about, you're playing word games with yourself. We don't need to play word games. Reality is what we need to do. Detoxify. They had to detoxify. That became a law. A man couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. A lot of things we did before, you can't do it. And you got people still stuck in the past. Well, we used to. We had to detoxify. It's just things you have to get rid of. And you have to be willing, and that shows man really evolving, the fact that he can move away from something that he done. You know how I was saying? I mean, that's how I've been all my life. That's all I know all my life. This is how I grew up. Okay, well, you got to change the way you grow. I say your growth was stunted. Because now trying to look, and then it shows whether or not you can restrict the man. Man needs to be restricted. Man needs to be controlled. Let me tell you something. And much of people talk about, y'all know they talking about the computer AI. What they tell us about AI? It's going to take over and do what? Take over and do what? And rule over men, like we did over Yahushua. Artificial intelligence. What intelligent man came up with on his own? Everything Adam learned, Elohim taught him. Everything he learned, Elohim taught him. When man got on his own, artificial intelligence. I don't know why these robots don't bother me. I'm looking at these jokers around him. This is artificial intelligence. All your thoughts, ideas, reactions, you got from Elohim. And then you going on, you establish your own righteousness. So artificial AI, as they call it, that's you. That's you and I. Not willing to restrict to the program. Not willing to stand on the trainer. Trying to take over and do his own thing. What you think the problem when Yahushua came showed him? This is what happened when AI evolves. When man is left to his own. When man has been given, say, well, whatever you see is right. Whatever you deem, whatever you want to do, that's a problem. That's a problem. Man need to be restricted. Y'all know that? Just like they do access on phones sometimes. They say, well, you can get a phone that don't allow you to do all that. You just text and just call. You don't need to have no internet on it. There's a lot of things man don't need. Because it broadens his way to give him more opportunity to commit sin. See, the only way sin can be validated, sin needs a law. Just like Abraham and Sarah, his sister, no law, no transgression. Yahuah came in and said, I'm going to establish a way. This is how I'm going to serve a people to myself. I'm going to start a people. He had to take a people from a people. Where do you think you came from? You came from the worst of people. It don't matter. We all evolve from the same people. The people that transgress in the gun, all of us are the children of these people. That's why he keep calling you the son of Adam instead of the son of Abraham. He doesn't. He talk about the seed from Abraham. You keep being called the son of Adam. Hello? Because your same practicality, the same reason, the same rationale. Then when you told not to do something for some dumb, stupid reason, you think that's what you ought to do. That's the same thing Adam did. So he called you son of Adam because you favor. You look like you're similar. Only reason that Adam was called the ben of Elohim is because he was similar. He favored. Everything he gave him with the same restriction he had. That's what he gave it to you. About not working on Shabbat. You ain't gonna believe it. He said, I ain't doing nothing. He said, I'm not doing. Everything he gave you, he do. He wouldn't eat a pig sandwich either. He didn't tell you like our parent told you, first of all, you shut your mouth, you ain't grown. No, he said, no, that's what I do. Hello? That's why Yahuah, they talking about Yahuah was sitting around drinking. I don't know where they got it from. He told you it's not good to give him a lot drink, strong drink. He said, you get that to somebody ready to moot. That's why he drank when he was on the 2. He didn't drink that stuff. I don't know why people, but everybody told the same lie. They told that he took the cup after sup, short for supper, not sup that he drunk out the cup. Because the way English write, they put S-U-P, sup, saying that after he drank it. He didn't. It was saying after sup, short for supper. He didn't drink it. He looked at it, it don't make sense. He said, how much condemn you for drinking? And I'm sitting up here drinking. So that you know, man need a restriction. He said, what I'm telling you not to do, that's what I do. When they came and condemned him about trying to heal somebody, he said, well, which of you have a goat, an ox, in them follow it, and you don't straightway pull it out? He said, that's the same thing I just did. That person was on a hole, and I just pulled them out. On Shabbat, same thing you do. Then told you it was lawful to do 2 on Shabbat. He says, always lawful to do. You ain't gonna believe what Yahuah doing. Number 2, he said lawful to do it. See that? Listen, when it come down to our heart for one another and our servitude to Elohim, there's no law against it. That's why it can be done without measure. It's no law against it. You can impede on all you want. It ain't a law. You'll let some man make a law to you, and that's what scares a lot of you from trying to accomplish what you're here for. You can't let people get in your head and make a fool out of you. We got to be restricted. Hello? Y'all all right? Let's look at something. See what that the 17th chapter of the book of Yaquarah. I don't know. Let's see what 17 and 1 say. I know last night y'all probably didn't y'all didn't look like y'all with me last night, but they didn't stop nothing anyway. I'm gonna still do what I do, you know. Because my end is I want to be as practical as possible with us, about us. Oh, excuse me. Spin right here, I'm going to go in the trash. Well, just set this up. I'm going to throw that in the trash later. I got low. All these checks. No, you got to do it now. Just later on. Appreciate that, Pastor. I want my pastor had to rip and run all on Shabbat. Some other people want their pastor to rip and run on Shabbat. All right, this is Leviticus 17 and 1. Listen.
Then Yahuah spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to Aharon and to his Bani and to all the Bani of Yasharal, and say to them, This is the thing which Yahuah has commanded, saying, Any each from the Beth of Yasharal who slaughters an ox or a lamb or a goat in the camp, or who slaughters it outside the camp, and has not brought it to the doorway of the tent of appointment to present it as an offering to Yahuah before the tabernacle of Yahuah, blood guiltiness shall be reckoned to that ish. He has shed dam, and that ish shall be cut off from among his arm. so that the Beni of Yasharal shall bring their Zabah, which they were sacrificing in the open field, that they may bring them in to Yahuah at the doorway of the tent of appointment to the Kohanim, to the Kahan, and sacrifice them as a sacrifices of peace, shalom offerings to Yahuah.
Oh, let me see this. That's not what I wanted, but since we're down, I mean, I guess we deal with it anyway at that point. I guess looking at this, it make you just kind of consider some things of the importance of Dom. How they understood Dom and Dom being shared was from what we call the soul, Nefesh. The Nefesh. The Nefesh would kind of deal with a whole man versus just a part of a man. We talk about a man, a heart in him. What was it with all of something? All his soul. That's all his being. That's all his inwards. There's a lot of things we start to kind of look at how they saw it. He told you about the Nefesh that sinneth, but the only way to move that blood gonna leave that body. That's attached to your life, that Dom. This is why he didn't want us to eat it. Or that's a man, or that's an animal, that's his life. And people understood how important Dom was, that when Dom left from a person, you think about it, and you start bleeding, you go and you just gotta cut. People say, you need to put something on that. Cover that up or try to stop it, because they realize you bleeding, life leaving your body. They'll get you to donate blood to Red Cross in different places. You know what they'll tell you? The reason why I want you to do it? Help save a life. You have the ability to give life to somebody from your Nefesh. That blood is attached to your soul. So it was so important how they looked at things, basically how we looked at. Like for them, they had so many restrictions on things they had to do. If a man killed it, he had to bring it to the place of appointment. He wanted to come and do it at the place of appointment when he does it. And he wanted him to do it at the door. All these things was in point. He said, otherwise, you blood guilty. You guilty of. Just like when we sit down and we take the the cup and we take the lakam, the bread for a pasat. He talked about if a man or a woman does it. I forget, what was that? How you supposed to do it? Somewhat what was it? Unworthily. Unworthy. Can we see what unworthy is, please? Unworthy, not deserving effort, attention, or, which means when you do something that I regard as kata, I have no respect for you. You need to know how I look at you. I have no respect for you, nor are you worthy of anything from me. See, if we don't understand these words in their content and what they mean and how they use and what he's telling us, we don't know. We heard that. Whoever, let's see right quick. See that 1 Corinthians chapter 11. Let me see 11 and 3. 11:23 right quick. Matter of fact, give me 11 and 1 first. 1 Corinthians 11 and 1. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, listen.
Follow in my footsteps, as I also go in my footsteps of
So he said, walk beside me.
Follow
How he wants you to follow?
in my footsteps.
That's tight. So where you gonna be? Right beside him? Y'all gonna cross the threshold at the same time. See, amazingly, to make it that simple is to tell you how much people ain't following. Come for me. Follow me. Typically, this is what people do. They right here. Is this man following me? No, that man a companion. He right beside me. He never told you that. He want the man to follow his footsteps. If a man following the footsteps that I'm walking, can you follow the footsteps? There's no reason for him to get off. But he created his own way, we're gonna have a problem. And what happened with most of us, we create our own way. You like, I'm following. You know, the argument will be, I'm following you. I mean, I'm right here. That's not what you were told. It's broken down that simple way. When you tell a person to follow your footsteps, that means I have to watch to see where you walked to make sure now you have no occasion of stumbling. You know what I'm saying? There's no occasion of a person getting off. Where does our problem come in? Because we're not following. We right here, we racing. It seems like I can see my way come around. I'm good. No, you're not good. That's the problem. But we're learning how to come back. And the reason why it's important to go back over these simple concepts is because we so far here. Right now, you got to start retracing where did I first get off at. I've been going somewhere, had direction, and you start off good, and some kind of way you got twisted. So you try to stop and pull over and look at from I started. When I detect when I got off. I've been driving sometime and wasn't paying attention, and before I know it, I wound up saying, "What the world?" But it looked like I could turn it, and I turned, and that thing took me on out the way, and I'm playing, getting ready. You come in, you said, "I wasted a lot of time not paying attention." That'll get you off too. Getting comfortable, and it was a way I had gone before I got comfortable. I said, I just turned this way here because this should take, and I assure you, it took me out the way. I eventually made my way back doing what I was doing, but I looked at how much time I wasted, and then you had to ask yourself how many times you've done this in your life. And sometimes you get yourself so far, you're not getting closer, you just continue to get further off. So a lot of times it's hard for people to stop and admit and just go back and train. Now I'm gonna really be behind. Let's see, how behind are you if you're already off? You see what I'm saying? You're already off. The best thing is to come back and get this thing straight. Come back and retrieve back the way you need to be at so you can get the way you need to go. And these are mistakes we make constantly. We can do a lot of praying, we can do a lot of talking, but we need to have real conversation with Yahuah. Where am I at with you? Trying to make sure there's a relationship established, talking about yourself and about things. I spend a lot of time praying for other people. Spend a lot of time because people are always going through something and doing something, but we have to be able to talk and consider for ourselves too. I mean, it's necessary. It's necessary for you to have that relationship. And you need to have an honest relationship like people have with their doctor. They trying to ask you a question. You say, well, this stays in the room between you and I. This just goes, and what I'm telling you is really just to help me. Sometimes, how many people lie to their doctors? Nobody know, don't worry about it. That's a need to know, but what you need to know for? It's just some thing you don't need to know, don't tell them, don't worry about it, keep moving. Sometimes I feel like it ain't their business. Because that's how much I trust them to. That's just been, I don't tell them everything, I tell them enough. Because I look at it right here, you're a servant, and a done don't tell a servant everything he done. I don't tell them everything I've done. Some still want to know, I don't see the relevance in it, what we're talking about right now. If I felt like it played a relevance in what we were doing, I'd tell you. Just like Yahushua, when he was here, he wouldn't tell you some stuff either, because he didn't see the relevance in it. I don't see how it's going to help you. Hello? When it comes to Yahuwah, I don't want to treat him like my doctor, because everything is relevant. Especially when it come down to change. It is something your doctor don't need to know. Just being honest, they don't need to know about my great-granddad or what he did. For what? My great-granddad ain't here at the appointment. I am. Hello? If my dad and mama dead or living, what they got to do with me? I'm living. So if they not living, you gonna tell me to leave the doctor office? We're gonna still do the same thing, right? Okay, I just care. I know some gotta tell me everything. Some things just like that. Do you have a gun in your house? Okay. You want to see it? It's like if I'm hitting my blood, what does a gun in my house got to do with it? Some stuff has no relevance in what you do. Do you feel safe at home? Why? You gonna buy me somewhere else to stay? If I don't feel safe, are you gonna find me somewhere else to live? Do you feel suicidal? So how much I owe you for the doctor visit? All this gonna make a difference. I mean, cause you said this thing too much, I say, I feel like dying. And we gonna cut their bill. I mean, I wanna know. They be like, no. I'm saying, see, so a lot of the conversation we had ain't gonna help the matter. This not gonna help our situation. We basically just trying to gather information. It had nothing to do with the situation. I know y'all look at a lot of information has nothing. A gun at your house have nothing to do if you done broke your leg. Now unless you took the gun and beat it and broke it. Sometimes as you question have nothing to do with it. That's just for government record. They need to keep it for documentation because all your stuff is actually not private as you think. You have an HMO. So they share your information with insurance company. Insurance company sell your information. That's how they make money too. Y'all don't ever get those letters in the mail where people say privacy law lets you know what we do with your information? Because this is how these people make money. They sell your information. Your information goes in a database. So certain things you tell people, they really don't need to know. It really don't have a relevance to what they got to do. Hello? Okay. Don't worry about it. They get you comfortable now. You just competent. Some kind of way that's going to help me. It's really not. Okay. Let's see. So we read this. Jump down to 23 right quick. Also, when I said lie to your daughter, I meant just don't tell me everything. 24, I be lying all the time. I mean, you shouldn't be. 11:23. Listen to that. Therefore,
I received from the Adon, and I delivered to you that the Adon, Yahushua, in the Layla in which he was delivered, took up Lakam.
stop. Time period. What time was it when they took it?
Layla,
Layla. What did he tell you in verse 1?
walk after me, follow me.
Why would I be taking it Sunday morning?
Disobedient,
Why would I be taking it at 3 o'clock in the afternoon?
disobedient.
Saying I follow the apostles' doctrine. How could I say it when he just said, first thing he told me was, follow his footsteps. He said, I received this from Yahuah, that the same night in which he was betrayed. What did he do?
He was delivered and took Lakam.
He was delivered and took Rakam. And I delivered to you that in the Layla of which he was delivered up, he took Lakam. Okay, I'm trying to make sure that wasn't you, white man. Come on.
Yes, sir. And
24.
having given Hadu,
Hold on. And having given thanks.
he broke it and said, take, eat. This is my basar.
So when they get it and it come in them little chiclet crackers, he told you to follow his steps. So what he was supposed to do that night? Your pastor, y'all congregation bought there months ago, and it was already a little broken up chiclet cracker. What did the purpose of tell you to follow me? Follow the footsteps that you see. You can't walk until you see the steps, right?
That's right.
So how you moving and you saw no steps?
That's right.
So you can see where it gets to be dangerous because all these religions got their own stuff. Some of them doing it every Sunday. He told the same thing. So every Sunday he would be betrayed. Church of Christ is every Sunday. Yeah, some will take every. So he did it every Sunday. That's the steps you heard. See, and I want to say that to say this, and all of us, including the way y'all, everybody, it's so important to come back and start looking at what you're doing, so you can see where there are things, a custom that people can have that's not a law against it, but you want to make sure you don't put it out for condemnation for other people. Sometimes when people do things in any religious organization, you're making sin for everybody who don't do it when you don't have a law against it. It's just practical for you and your Adar, which is your congregation. And you got to be careful about when you establish things because then you'll have members, and I'm sure I've been guilty of it before. You'll start marking other people to say that they're wrong, they're condemned based off of practices of your local assembly.
Right.
What we want to use to designate whether a person is wrong, what does the word say?
Right.
Now there are things that you can do, just like when Shaul said, let me say, he told you to keep the ordinances as I delivered them to you. Now, an ordinance is something that relates to a town, a country, or a city. It might not relate to a whole country. So it's only to a region. So certain things can be given to a region for them to do. And it's not necessarily for the whole Adar. So it's a lot of things you want to set back and you want to be careful about. A lot of times people try to take the Kohan tour, the laws, the tour for the Kohan and try to put it on the people when it's not for you, it's for the Kohan.
That's right.
Louis done had a different set of rules they had for other people. They could enter in. You couldn't enter into the Kodash. And he showed them that when he had them to symbolically bring in the staff and lay the lumen staff down. He said, the one that bud and bring forth pari, that's what I want to come in for. And here's sprouted almonds. Hello? So it's a lot of times you want to be real careful when you're trying to establish and put things down because you can get yourself too far up. People start running, trying to find stuff. People run back through. They'll make the whole congregation Louis. A lot of times they need to slow down. Let's make sure we get what's practical first, how to live.
Right.
Okay? So having given thanks, he break it and took, eat this, my
basar,
which is
broken for you. Do this in zakar of me.
Let's say.
In like manner also, the cup after the supper, and said, this cup is the new berith in my dam. Do this in zakar of me.
This is the agreement he made. This is the agreement that he's making now. This is an agreement. Berith. He's making a berith with us. He's making an agreement with us now. What happened?
Do this in zakar of me at all time that you drink it.
Because now we're going to look at it. And what's funny right here, we're looking at, he's talking about the dam.
That's right.
Now we're talking about the Nephash. So we're talking about what was rendered and what was given up for us. That man exerted his life from his soul. Like people say, I put my soul in it. People put a lot, there's a lot involved when we start talking about putting up the dome. But we don't actually know how it attaches and the connection. We don't even see the significance in it. I mean, we know, of course, he died. We don't realize what he actually poured out, what he rendered out for us. Okay? So he let us know. He said, when we do this, he said, this is how you do it and remember me. He didn't say a shout or a dance or write this song so you should remember me. He said, I want you to do this, that you remember me. Now, and in fact, when I come back and I remember, for us it'd be Zakar, which is marked to remember. Okay, so when exactly did he do this? Because I'm supposed to mark it to remember it. When did he do this? Hello? You said Lord John? Passat. That's when he did it. So what am I going to be marking? I'm going to be marking the time. When did he do it? So how did I come up doing this on Sunday mornings, every time I do it, when he clearly told me, follow my steps. And I'm telling you how I walk. Hey, we heard what? Furthermore, you received of us? So how do I know, how is it I don't know when to do it? How is it I don't know when to do it? When he clearly told me to mark it so you remember. This is you're going to do it to show you remember that you're going to go and recreate this fashion right here. You ain't got to drag no cross in no room. He never told you to drag no cross in there. He didn't tell you to bring no rusty nails and put them in the preacher's hand and lay him on top of a stick. When did he told you to do that? I clearly told you to take the lacam and you will use this as symbolism to my body. I want you to take the dome, I want you to take it because it's symbolizing of my life being poured out, my soul being put out into this. I exerted a lot of things here for you. Okay? Let's see something. We got a point to this, I'm sure. Listen. 26.
For at all time that you eat this lacam and drink this cup, remind the Zakar of the moot of our Adon until he comes.
He said, that's why you're doing it. It's reminding you to remember, to mark this, to remember of it. Listen.
Therefore, he who eats from this lacam or
he
drinks,
that do what now?
Eats from this lacam
and do what?
Or drinks from the cup of
How?
the Adon unworthily shall be guilty of the basar of our Adon and of his dam.
What did we say unworthy was? See that? Let's say it again. Y'all exactly right. Undeserving. Let me see. Not deserving effort, attention, or respect. That's what he's looking at with us. Let's see how we'll look at that. How about it? See if that the book of Ra Shyth, they call. See if that the 4th chapter, about the 3rd verse, 2nd verse. What's that? 4 and 3. Ra Shyth. Okay. Listen.
So it came about in the end of the Yamim.
3. They had 2. Mm-hmm.
So it came about in the end of the Yamim that Cain brought an offering to Yahuah of the Pari of the Adumah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
And Abal brought he also from the firstlings of his Adah and of their fat portions.
That what happened?
And Yahuah had regard for Abal and for his offering. But for Cain and for his offering, he had no regard. So Cain became very angry, and his countenance fell.
So now we got to look at this. The only thing I can look at him not regarding it, I could kind of also tie to him not respecting it, not giving any effort to it, nor acknowledgement of it. Because truly something had to be, he found that was unworthy. Something was done he found was not worthy, or deemed him to be able to give respect to it, to pay it any attention, to give anything back and let him reciprocate anything from it. And the reason why we're looking at it, because you got to ask yourself, why are you not getting a response to what you're doing? And this is what we found. Let's see what he did. Come on.
Then Yahuah said to Cain, why are you angry? And why has your countenance fallen?
Like a lot of y'all doing him. What you upset about? Why are you looking so stupid? Listen what happened.
if you do well.
If you do well. Can we see what well means? Not W-H-A-L-E. That's going to be blubber. Well, in a good or satisfactory way. If you did in a good or a satisfactory way, let's see what would happen. What would happen, Chris?
Is there not acceptance?
See that? I would have gave respect to what you were doing. If what you did was in a satisfactory way, I would give respect. I would even put forth some effort to even acknowledge what you're doing. Why are we looking at this? Because everybody does what Cain does a lot of time. Get upset, pout, cut the food when the man clearly asking, what are you getting upset for? You know why I'm not regarding it. You know what's the problem with you and I. And people sit around and act like they dumbfounded, like they have no idea what's going on. Why did he tell him he going to give him a pastor after his own heart? They're going to feed it with knowledge and understanding. Because you know why. You already know why. Look what these guys did. Let's see again. Back me up at verse 2. And she continued to bear his ox, Habal, and Habal was a keeper of the flocks, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. So one was a shepherd, the other one was a farmer. Come on. So it came about in the end of the Yamin, in the end of the day, that Cain brought an offering to
Yahuah
of the fruit, which is the pari of the ground. What is it called? Adumah? Yeah, of the Adumah, which is of the ground. Okay. And Habal brought he also from the firstling of his flock, which is now you can understand how you give your tithes. How you supposed to give it? And guess what you found out? Yahuah, he desired the first ripe fruit. You were taught this when it came down to anything that break the matrix. He said the first thing that come out the womb, that's mine. He been teaching us that. He said the first thing that come out, that's mine. The first pari come, that's mine. So we already had a practice in the play. Why is he telling us about this? And Habal brought he also from the
firstlings of his flock.
Let's go back up. 3. So it came about in the end of the days. When is the end? That's the beginning? So when he got finished, that's when Cain brought in the offering to Yahuah of the fruit of the ground. Why we don't have first up here, Bosh, to help me out? Am I missing something? Reading first ain't up there? Because he did tell me at the end of his days. The end of days. See how we pick up quick, just look. I'm reading with y'all. These are things, go ahead and tell the truth. Look at the end of the day.
Days.
So you've been doing it for a minute before you decide to bring it to me.
Right. Right.
So you just take your time and look. How many of y'all missed that?
Missed it.
That's why you pay me. But then, and what's significant, pay attention. I told you, but listen to what he said. Come down at 4. At verse 4. And Habal brought he
also.
So when you heard this threw you. Because you heard also, that meant they did the same thing. No, he tell you that he brought something as well. But it's significant to tell you from the
firstlings
of his flock. That's my job. I had to pay attention to what people saying. Because everybody gonna go and tell you, y'all heard it. See, God was angry with him because he ain't offer blood. Okay. I don't know where they got it from. Tithe was the fruit of the ground.
That's right.
And for a fruit, the juice come out is the blood.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know what people talk about. In the juice, it come out. That's just like the blood of it.
That's right.
I don't know what people think. You drink orange
juice,
orange blood.
Yeah.
And they got what they call blood orange.
Yeah.
Go figure. They waste time. People waste too much time trying to be clever. I don't have the energy to try to be clever. My energy, want to just pay attention to what the man trying to give me to pay attention to. I said, we heard also, it's designed to set you up to say, we heard also, that means the same thing. But pay attention. I told you about him. I said he brought here from the firstling. And the reason why he had discussed it with Cayenne, because Cayenne already knew, I just told you. He said, if you did what was good, he said, and it was satisfactory, then I gave regard to it.
That's right.
But you brought me your stuff as you done got finished with everything as you were doing. He looked at when his came out, he brought it to me.
Yeah.
See, to show you how things even work with that, when it came down to a male child being born, these folk were holding weight and they would come and present it to Yahuah. They would bring him in at the 40 day complete. Bring it to me first.
That's right.
These people knew things, bring it to me. Dedicated to me first. They would bring it in, they would bring an offering, they would offer it to him.
That's
because
right.
they wanted to make sure, I want to dedicate to you. This is what he acknowledged.
That's
he
right.
brought him the firstling of his flock. So as soon as they reached the time, he said, give me 40 days. 8 days, go ahead and circumcise. The 40 days, he said, bring him in to me.
That's right.
Bring him and dedicate him to me. And a lot of times we miss and we don't pay attention to a lot of things, and this puts us so far behind. The goal is for us to go back through and look at a lot of things we're doing to make sure we're right, Sadiq. Make sure we're accurate, paying attention to keep. I don't know how many times I heard, follow me as I follow Christ, and keep the orders I deliver. And like I said, I probably somebody say follow, I possibly would have been almost beside, not thinking about it, thinking I'm walking with you, but it's a different you say, walk in my steps. Even the Indians had a saying, until you walk in another man's moccasin, you know what I'm saying, you couldn't judge it. You know what I'm saying? Walk through it, go through another man's step. They understood. That meant go through and live the life that person lived so you can understand the resolve of why they made their decisions. So a lot of times how we do, you hadn't lived another way and you don't understand why people might, like a lot of people do some of the things they do. So it's easy to assume when you don't know. Just like when Yahushua came, they asked questions. Why walk not your Talmudim in the footsteps of the other ones? They want to know. Why didn't they walk in the footsteps? Because he's trying to show these people walking, but they were walking in a way that wasn't right. Because they want to know, why aren't your taught ones, why aren't they walking in the same steps as the Father, as the ones that came before them? So he go through to start showing them why. Because in the way they were walking with hypocrisy, and they shouldn't walk in that way. Mm-hmm. See, that was, again, going back to what he teaches us, as we received him, he says, you received of us, so now we learn not to walk in any way and be so hypocritical about things. He started letting know all the things that you did, that you put as a regard. There are a lot of other things you aren't doing. So it's not acceptable. He's not going to acknowledge them. See, salvation is something, although you can't obtain it by works, you ain't gonna believe it, you're still gonna have to be worthy of it. There's still gonna have to be some concrete steps that's gonna have to show you to be worthy of it. He's not just gonna give it to me while I'm still drinking, is he? Let's see, people take con for food. Con means since you can't earn it by works or by riches, that means it don't matter what I do, he'll save me. And that's not true. You still have to convert, right? You still got to convert. It's some place you go to and you can take your American dollar. They ain't going to accept it till you convert it. They got to be converted. Some place they got to be converted before they can use it. You ain't going to believe what happened with you. He ain't going to take it till you be converted. He told you to repent and what was it again?
Be converted.
Be converted. Got to convert. Can we see what convert means, Buster? And we'll put the ED, because at that point you've done it in a good or satisfactory way. Is this helping anybody?
Yes, sir.
My pastor, it helped my pastor. We'll look at the ED. Let's drop the ED first, because that's going to be past tense. The act that's happening, then we'll look at the ED. Convert. We'll put a T up there, please. Appreciation. Cause to change in form, character, or
function.
So which one are we changing?
Form.
Faction. Function. Character. The form is still the same. We will eventually. But when he told us to repent and be converted, we couldn't change form.
Right.
We could change the character.
Right.
We could change the function, how you work. So and this is what people look at trying to change the form, or the form is fine. It's just we gotta change the form in which we operate.
Right.
Y'all we gotta change the form in which we operate, how we use our members. So that's why it's so important to understand the members, just like the eye. Because of the eye and how it's typically looked at, the it plays so much a part of your intelligence, sight, knowledge, appearance. You can judge from the You know how much information you need when you have that much ability with your eyes? With my eyes, it can make a major difference. I can come up with it just looking at I just come with the wrong cut. That nigga think he better than me. Did you tell me that, Joe? Well, looking at you, that's what I just came up with. So what's my problem? You tell me. Exactly. So now, and Yahushua told me to judge, but he told me don't judge after, what was it? After appearance, because I just came up with something wrong. He said, so judge Sadiq judgment. Now that's going to come in through having a relationship with him, dealing with him. Now I can get to see whether or not what I thought I saw or what I believe I see is accurate or not. And that's the only way to come up with the right judgment versus how many times we've been guilty of making judgment assessment based off of what we just saw, but not knowing the whole story. See, all these things are important for us because this is what people have done for years. People had, listen, they saw Yahushua, Beelzebub. They named him after a foreign deity. That's because of the sight of the eye. So you got so many critical members of your body that you got to be so key about and be so cautious about what you learn and what you give out of yourself, what you give yourself to. And it's so important for you to be able to decipher. Just like you look at the Matah, the tribe of Dan. What is Dan? Judge. So you need to be a pretty stupid person to be in that group, huh? Pretty dummy. Somebody lack a lot of information? Not at all. Not at all. I mean, that was it. Matter of fact, Louis, and I'm going to show you how important it is for you to have the right information you do it. Now, Dan is judge. But yet when Simeon and Louis, when they heard that Dinah, their sister, had been raped, what did they do? They passed judgment. They took it upon themselves and passed judgment. They weren't from the Matah Dan. They said, I know this right. They said, this stuff he ain't gonna be done in y'all's wrong. And they took off of themselves and they killed him. Yet when their daddy came, he said the judgment was wrong that they passed. The sentence was wrong. He said, you're right, but you went and you killed everybody. You killed all the men in the city. He said, you guys have embarrassed me. He said, you made me to be ashamed in this place. That's what he told him. Y'all rid of this. Y'all right to cause me a major problem because you took it. And you know how many of these groups out here now taking themselves, man, we got to go kill Esau now. He said, how did you come up with this? Who made you Dan? That you take it upon yourself and you took the right that Cam did something wrong. All the Akeem finna die in him. Oh, stop. Where did you come up with this judgment from? Those men killed a whole city. They didn't kill the person responsible. Yahuah said the one that commits sin,
It's your move.
all I had to do was just kill the one that did it. But you see what happened with the and with the hearing of the ear? These are critical points for us. What we rest in our mind, what we see with our eye, and what we let get to our heart. It's critical. This is why we have wars. This is why we have so many destruction. This is why we have rape. This is why we have murder. This is why all that is simple. Listen, as far as in him, this is our problem with everybody right in him. If we don't learn how to fix these key areas right here and detoxify like what I'm telling you we got to do now, we're going to continue to keep going down. Man, it plummeted down, spiraling down at a astronomical rate because we hadn't sat down and we've been practical about how we've seen things, how we view things, how we operate off of things. We're trying to obtain the Ra Shyth, and what holds us back a lot of times is how we function. Can we look at what function is, please? Convert, function, change, appearance. An activity or a purpose natural to or intended for a person or things. A relationship or an expression involving one or more variables. Work or operate in a proper or a particular way. This is what it takes, the verb. Work or operate. Y'all see that? In a particular way, function. That's what he's trying to get us to do. How many of y'all used to fornicate? It ain't too personal. Okay. So you did that with your members. So now, how many of y'all stopped fornicating? So all you just changed was your function. Did you sew up the vagina? Did you cut out the penis?
Nope.
See, all you did was, that's the only thing you did, was work or you operate in a proper or a particular way. That's all you did. That's all. We had nothing to give us the particulars. There was no reason. And then it was contingent upon something. not only reward, but also there has to be a penalty. Hello? I mean, just like sport, it penalty. You step out, it don't count. You know, you catch outside, you step on the line. It's a lot of things. A lot of these things, listen, it violate the cause. So now your point's not worth it. They don't deem it. We don't respect it. You know, it might be a good run, whatever, but you caught it outside. You went inside. You know what I'm saying? You landed outside, and they're like, "That was cold. You saw that cat? Whoa, my nigga cold." But it's out of bounds. But you seen that though? Oh, my nigga. You saying, what, man? Why don't you get a man credit for it? I can't because I don't deem it worthy. He caught it out of bounds. You shot this 3, but your foot was on the lines of 2. But that's the coldest one I ever seen, though. I can't respect it as a 3. I don't deem it worthy because of the parameters of how you grade things. This is how you have things in life for a reason. Because of the fact a penalty was in place on it, we can't count it. It doesn't matter at that point. Y'all got it? Because of the violation. This is what we're looking at. We're talking about unworthy. In our minds, we're still trying to count something we did to a credit, but he's telling you, I don't regard it. I don't have any respect for it because there's a penalty involved. Are y'all with me on that? Okay. I don't know. Let's come back to what we were looking at. We're back at count. This is the 4th chapter, 4 and 4. And Ra Shyth, and he brought, and Habal brought his also from the first of the flock and of their fat portion. And Yahuah had
regard
for
Habal
and for
his offering.
Well, it's not hard to figure out what happened. So now this is what we're trying to do is come back to get him to a point that he'll receive our offering.
That's right.
Hello? He said that's what I'm trying to get you back to and trying to come back and trying to redeem you and pull you back with. I got to do something different. Because of the way you've done things and because of the law, you tried to follow it, you were more of a violator of it than you were a keeper of it. See, Cain ain't nobody but us. We'll pay ours too, but a lot of time ain't at it first. And I get around to it.
Yeah.
And then we weren't and say, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. But here we found a man, he said, I didn't regard this man. I had no respect for the man. I don't even put no effort in this stuff. So he looked at, there's an effort I put behind acknowledging people when they do it the way it's been given to them. But we got to remember, we're following the steps. Sometimes, you know what's amazing? They'll give you some direction. And you know what they'll call one? Step 1. Step 2.
That's right.
Should I start at step 3? That's why they got them graded. Let's do step 1. Then we do step 1. Let's do step 2. And the reason I'm giving you the steps is because this is actually how we put it together. I like to just take it from and start over here, and then I just come back to it. And then you wind up taking a bunch of stuff loose, and you brag on how you did it anyway. You wasted more time because you didn't do it the proper way. If you'd have just followed step 1. So you know they do that step 1, they call them step 2. And amazing, he wants you to follow steps. See, I'm trying to come back in, the key into where we get off at. We start to build our own way, and a lot of time we wind up putting ourselves out of the way. Because that's not the way he actually intended. You know, when you read these stories, I won't call them a story, we read the events that our beginning of our both of them had. You can see where we all play a same part and play a vital part of these actions, and we don't know why sometimes things not working for us. We'll say what we're doing, but you're not doing it the way he actually instructed us to do it. You got it? So just like keying into what we just read, he could have told it to a plane. He let that, but if you was a person, you were big on trying to get it, you will pay attention. You're a kid, you're home in if you actually paying. If there's something you actually trying to do, you're a kid. You got people that go tell you he did. Well, see, God, he ain't see, you know what I'm saying? He had one thing having this girl one time came at their club. You're like a club. These guys teaching all kind of stuff. I ain't making up stuff. I don't have time for no foolishness. I made that story up, but I'm sure it's not too far. I heard a man say years ago with Adam and Yaquarah that the reason why Elohim was angry with her because she wanted to be a priest, and I don't know what are these people. I said, yeah, man, and he taught that the guy, Pastor Man, at the time. That's when I cut out like them Jerry Curry. That was years ago. And he was saying that she wanted to be a priest, and she was trying to get Adam to confess to her. She wanted to get him. Listen, there's nothing remotely close to this whole story. But you see where it gets to a point where you can take off on your own, and you can move in a way, and you can't line up what you're saying. For me, it's important that we place set. Let's place it. Let's put it into context. Let's look at it for what it's saying. Let's look it up to make sure we're right. At that point, you can't afford guessing game. We need to make sure it's right and make sure you understand it. Because having the understanding gives you the ability to do it. When you say, well, I can't do it, you say, why you can't do it? So once you understand it, that means now he has the ability. So he said, I'll give you Ra'im, pastor, after my own law, which shall feed you with Na'an. Listen, they're giving you the range of information, then they're giving you the ability to be able to do it. That's what understanding. We just heard, I understand. So if you have understanding, that means you have the ability to do it. Did it make sense to you? So again, these are words we use all day, but people don't pay attention. Oh, what are you actually saying? They actually say, so you have understanding of what I'm telling you. You say, yeah, you got it right there. Right now I got him. Because he just told me he got the ability to do what I told him. Now he don't do it and follow order now. The man a liar. Or he's just willing at this point, you willing to disobey what I'm telling you to do. So the whole purpose of making sure you understand it, because this is going to show whether or not you've done things in error because you didn't know or didn't have the understanding, or you have the understanding and you're willing to do it. That's why it's important to understand. When we talk about if we willing to sin after that we come into the range of information about the amount, he said they'll remain. So let me ask you a question. How are we going to understand that? Okay, let's use when he gave them manna. Manna. So when he gave them manna, they were supposed to go out and do what? They were supposed to go out and gather it. But before the Shabbat, they were supposed to go out and gather what? Double. Why? So if you went out on the Shabbat to try to get some because you didn't get enough, what happened? There wasn't nothing remaining. I ain't leave no remaining. Because you knew the purpose I got to do double because you ain't got no business going on Shabbat looking for it. Because it's not there. Because I told you there were remaining. Because there was nothing. I had nothing remaining. See, everything was contingent upon you following the 6-day rule. You 5 days, 6 days, gather double. Now, if you came out on the 7th day, now you try, that's why they're talking about, man, what happened? Ain't nothing. I figured it was some out here. They said, no, ain't nothing remaining. Everything was taken up in the 6th day. So their understanding about things was practical, because there were people that came out looking. I did Pico. I ain't going out there, I'm just looking. Before you know it, you're behind dab slap in the field. But you ain't going out there, you was just looking. You thought you seen something. And that's what we wound up falling short at. A lot of things they became to understand there was nothing there. So when he told you there remain no sacrifice, they understood it's nothing there. Because at that point, I don't regard, I count you unworthy. Which means I have no respect. I will put no effort in for you. See, the goal is for us to get back to a mutual respect. Okay? Like a relationship where we have respect for one another. There's a respect and a regard for the things of Elohim, and Elohim has a respect and a regard for things of us. Because we got to think, a man will get himself entangled with a wife and kids and other things. He wants Elohim to give favor to that. So in order to do, then that man needs to regard Elohim with all of his goods. Like Yahushua said, ask for me in my house. Now my wife don't know she grown. And my kids, they getting old, they're going to be graduating from school next year. He said, me and my house, we going to serve Yahuah. Me and my house. They got everybody. They got the son, they got the daughter, and they got the wife. He said, we're going to serve. So he has the knowledge of man like that. Y'all got it. Even when it came down to Yahushua, when he came down, you ain't going to believe who he came to. His own. He looked at, because he was trying to make sure he was already know him and his house were supposed to serve Yahuah. Come on, that don't make sense. He had a man that he paralleled that name Yahushua, said him and his house was going to serve Yahuah. So why would me and my house not do it? I'm following the steps. These are the steps he followed. Okay? So these are the things we start to put into practice of why we look at why we're not growing, why we stagnated, why we're not getting a response from him. Are you a person that he deems unworthy? Hello? Is the goal to get this thing right or what? The goal to get it, because I'm tired for me, I was stagnated for a long time. You don't realize, and when I say stagnated, you don't have to be committing sin, but you, in a sense, because you in a issue where if you don't move from where you're in stagnation, you're going to fall away. You don't get comfortable. And you're going to just start saying, well, at least I'm him. I'm trying to do something. I'm betting some folks. Some folks ain't doing this. You ain't gonna believe it. There's some folks who ain't doing what you doing in the same boat you in. Because you still ain't doing what he told you to do. Let me tell you how I do it. I never use nobody. I never grade myself by nobody. I don't grade myself by no other preacher, no other movement. I never do that. It has absolutely nothing to do with me in regards to what the man told me to do, okay? I'm supposed to maintain good words. I'm supposed to be studious about what I do. I don't use the words like these groups, they ain't doing what I do. Bad choice of words. Bad to use these people. The best thing you can do for every one of these groups is for us to grade ourselves by the book. Okay? That's the first thing in. What does the book say? What does it entail when it comes down to us and behavior? Okay? Now we're looking at unworthy, and we're looking at man regarding us on things. Like he told Cain, the man was not regarded. And it goes long even further, start letting you see other acts he had. Now it came down to him doing what? Slaying his brother. Now it came down to him slaying his brother. So you'd be surprised when he came along with things teaching us about what? Covetousness? Being coveted? Because now when he saw somebody that Elohim did regard, it just came natural to him, as to be expected, where he took the life of his brother. Hello? So now you start looking why he gives us all these different things about not going, I think, the lust of the eye. Who are we going to be looking at? Yahuah. Isn't that right? The pride of life. Because she started looking to make her wise. She started looking how she be regarded among others, even just her and Adam. A lot of things we do, we don't be careful about these things. He said, this stuff not Elohim. This stuff is of the alarm. Now, it's easy to kind of get yourself, well, you know, being human there. Of course you want, who don't want people to look at them, want people to say nice things about them, don't be stupid. Yes, you do. But it becomes dangerous and detrimental when it moves you away from the pattern. Remember, we're supposed to be following in his steps. So this is going to make a difference in how we're going to look at it. That means now what we're going to go back and look at when we start making decisions, think before we speak, look before you leap. Are those the steps that he took? Hello? The goal is, let's follow this man. If we trace his steps back from born Bethlehem, house of bread, went to Mizraim, stayed there for a while, then he went to Nazareth, because he's going to be called a Nazarene. Then he dwelt in the regions of Judea. Then he went up to Jerusalem, and in Jerusalem he was killed. There he was hung high, he was brought down, so he was exalted, then he was brought down to the lawn, and he was put down in the lower parts of the lawn, right? Lower parts of, from there he got, and he went all the way up. If you follow them steps, he said, you should be right here with me. Now, do I have to go to Bethlehem first? Do I need to go to Judea, any of these places? No. Galilee, I just got to do the same pattern of works. Now, what these guys going to do, they finna go buy a ticket and fly with him, and all these places have been mislabeled now. So them people weren't there, so they done came here, and they done designate their own places. So the problem is, he already knew this. Now all we got to do is follow the code for the behavior. The code he had for the behavior came from the word. Because it doesn't make sense to grade me about something when you never gave me the information. So the information had to be imputed first. I need to know the information, so now you can hold me accountable to it. Hello? I really want us to kind of really focus in on what I'm telling you, because we're making a lot of bad mistakes. And I know a lot of you can see it. You ain't growing. I know why you're not growing, because you're wrestling with so many things. I've been there. You wrestle with so many things. You're contemplating so many things. You're looking at how many things could help you to get in a better place where you can start doing what he tell you to do. And all this is going to be a problem. It's going to be a hang-up. It's a snare. There's nothing you got going to help you do better than you just submitting to what he said. There's not a thing you can buy. There's not a thing you can own. There's a thing you have that's going to make you better with him other than you. That's why he attached it and let you know how precious your life was. That what ran out from you, I hold people accountable for that. Because that's your life. That's the being of who you are. I hold man accountable on every end. We reading the 17th chapter, he was telling y'all about it. Y'all remember we were reading about the Dom? He told you about it, anybody took something, he killed it, and he took it out in the field, and he took it and he did it somewhere, except you were supposed to bring it to the door. You were supposed to bring that to the door as an acknowledgement to me before you took it, because you're looking to take life from. You want to make sure how I look on this. You want to make sure they were first presented to me before you done anything with it. But these are things in common in life now. We don't look at that stuff. He know. He know. People, we know. We just keep saying he know. But why was a pattern set? See, even with Cain coming days later, y'all didn't know that they brought it to you. And he didn't tell him he had to go out to the field and get it from him. Because for whatever reason, we reading the 17th chapter of Yaquarah. We go at 17, we could. 17 and 1. Listen, 17:1. Come on back, Chris. Where did you start reading that? Okay, I get it. Then Yahuah, the existing one,
spoke to Mushah.
Deber to Mushah. Deber is the word for spoke to Mushah, saying.
Deber to Aharun and to his Bani, and to all the Bani of Yasharal, and Deber to them. This is the thing which Yahuah has commanded, saying.
He amarred to do it. This is what he said. Commanded, which means he commanded, saying. That meant at that point you should have been shaman. Because he said, this is the thing Yahuah has amarred, saying. At that point, you homing in on Yahuah said, I need to know what I need to do. So now he's telling you the order of operation. This is how we, can we see what operation is? Or operate, please? I know these are simple words. Please forgive me for looking them up. But if I understand them better, I guarantee I can do better. Operate of a person, control the functioning of a machine, process, or a
system.
That's how he wants to operate. This is how I want you to operate it. Y'all got it? I want you to control the functioning of the machine, process, or a system. Y'all got it? That's how I want you to operate. When he told us about him, what he wants to commanded us, then he's letting us know how he wants us to operate. Y'all got it? This is how I want you to function. Y'all got it? That machine you call a body. This is how I want you to operate it. All right? This is the functioning of it. Let's go. Let's get back over. Please. Appreciate that. So he wants him to deber to Aharun and to his Benin. His Benin will be a seed that come out from it, and all of the Benin of Yasharal. Now that means that his sons will be following in his steps. Hello? His sons, because he's talking to him. The sons will come out from the elbows, which means they will be following. And the Benin of Yasharal will be following their orders. So the order line will be Aharun, his sons following, and Yasharal will be following them, and say to them, this is the thing which Yahuah has amarred, saying. This is how he wants to operate. Let's see how he wants to operate.
Any ish.
Which one? Hold on. Give me a Pacific. What one?
Any ish.
From what tribe?
From the Beth of Yasharal. Who slaughters an ox or a lamb or a great goat in the camp, or who slaughters it outside the camp.
Come on. Let's see what happened. They got 4.
And has not brought it to the doorway of the tent of appointment to present it as an offering to Yahuah before the tabernacle of Yahuah.
Mishkan of Yahuah.
Mashkan of Yahuah. Blood guiltiness shall be reckoned to that ish.
Can we say? Can we look up blood guilt, please? For those watching, I know it's slower than what you're used to, but let's just be honest. You can go faster with how much you've been obtaining, how much you missed. The goal is to make sure if we got it and we really get this right, you'll start making less mistakes. That's what I found. You make less mistakes when you know. You make more mistakes when you look to just, well, I don't want to look stupid and be asking. I don't want to look stupid and don't know. The goal is to slow it down so everybody know. Our goal is for all of us to come in this together, them as well. Being guilty of murder or bloodshed. That's what he wants to know when he look at you being blood guilty. You're being guilty of murder or bloodshed. because he only had a couple of rational reasons it could be done. And you're supposed to bring it to him, and you're supposed to present it before him, so he can approve of it. He said at that point, then I can say it's been approved or not. I regard it, I respect it or not. Otherwise, you've done this of your own. How much stuff have we done of our own? And we've just accounted that he's respected it. Why would I think anything of this? I'll read back in the writer. Why would I think anything about this reader? This has nothing to do with me. It's an acknowledgement in him. When we talk about acknowledge him in all your ways and he'll direct your path. These people had to acknowledge him in everything. That when they lay down, they had to think on it. When they get up, they had to think about it. It had to be written on the doorpost. When they sat around, they had to talk about it. Now when they get ready to slaughter something, I got to bring that to him. So you can see where it comes into a servitude where you present everything to him, where everything is given to him, that he plays a part in everything you do, that you have to bring it before me for acknowledgement. Because you want me to acknowledge what you do. When you put your hands to something, or you had an invention or something you want to try to do, you want me to acknowledge you. I want you to acknowledge me in everything you got. We do it when we come to service. We got a song we want to sing. We got a poem we wrote. That man want them to acknowledge him in everything they did. Otherwise, he said, I count you guilty. Come on back to what we're reading. And has brought it to the doorway of the tent of appointment to present it as an offering to Yahuah before the Mishkan. Was it Mishkan? Was it Mishkan? Yeah, Mishkan of Yahuah. Blood guiltiness shall be reckoned. A reckoning will be accounted. He's going to account that to you. To that man, he has shed dam, and that man shall be cut off from among his arm. Now, just say that you went and you decided to kill something, and you did it outside, in the field. You did it somewhere out in the yard or across from. Did you know this man said he was going to cut you off? This man has, look at these are particulars that we never paid attention to. Why would we? Because we're not in the office, we're not in the day of the time where a man has to give a sacrifice or offering and have to kill to that point where they did, because this was a constant for them. They didn't go to the grocery store and buy meat. It's early writing. What you do, you got to kill it, you got to do it. But he said, I want you to bring it before me before you do it. I know you might look at it's a lot of work and you ain't got time. By the time you do that, you could have did what you did, cut it up, and had it in time for dinner. He said it's a matter of following orders, though. A matter of doing things that he said that please me. See, when a man waved please Elohim, you remember how Abraham had got kidnapped? But he was around everybody that was a stranger. His way must have pleased Yahuah. His way must have pleased him. Hello? Let's see something. Let's look at the 20th chapter, 21st chapter, book of Ra Shyth. We're just walking through together. That's all. Let me say 22. All right, 22 and 1. Listen.
Now it came about after these things that Elohim tested Abraham and said to him,
So they did. What they call in testing, and what you're doing, you're actually trying to prove. Same thing they do when you get tests at school with these kids by the end of the year to try to see whether or not you able or you bear the traits to be moved up or to be kept back or retained. That's the whole person of doing it. That's why they give you the testing. We're trying to see where you at. The send home time, we're gonna be doing testing. It's gonna be critical. Your kid get a lot of rest. Different things be done. Make sure you eat a good breakfast, because we're gonna be testing them all week. Because these tests are designed to tell us whether or not they matriculated, whether we're gonna move them up or we're gonna retain them. So what he's doing right now, he's trying to find out, is Abraham gonna move up or he gonna retain him? Okay, because you've been tested too, you just don't know it. Come on.
And it said to Abraham, and said to him, Abraham, and he said, here I am.
Acknowledging where he was at. Where do you think he got that from? Adam, what did Adam say? He said, I heard you. I hear it myself. Abraham said, right here, present. I ain't got no reason to be hiding. He didn't say like Adam. Adam told him, I heard you, but I hear it myself. Because I already knew I had did wrong. I wasn't trying to take no test. I already knew I was going to fail it. Abraham said, here. Teacher, do they come to class? I was in elementary, come in, and someone call your name, you call the name, answer. Do y'all still do that? Them teachers come, you don't do it. He said, don't do it. We ask them, they come in, they tell you, when I call your name, listen, they tell you, when I call your name, answer present. If you're not, I mark you absent. Some stupid person sit there and wait there, they just go and mark an absent. Stupid sitting right there, everybody looking, seeing them, they mark an absent. So you playing, I'm going to show you how we're going to play there. You absent today. But I ain't had the answer. I mean, I'm sitting right here, you can't see me. Let's try it again. When I call your name, answer here. If you don't answer here, I'm marking you absent. Don't have time to play a game. So he called Abraham said, you see it everywhere. What you ask me a stupid question for? Don't you see me right here? And he be just like you, retained. Retained. Listen.
He said, take now your being, your only one, whom you Yaquarah, and get you to the Aras of Moriah, and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the harem of which I shall shem to you.
Come on.
So Abraham rose early in the morning and saddled his chamor, and took 2 of his young anashim with him, and Yaquarah his being, and he split wood for the burnt offering, and cum, and went to the Malkum of which the Elohim had told him.
Come on.
On the 3rd yom, Abraham cum his and saw the Malkum from a distance. Abraham said to his young anashim, you stay here with the chamor, and I and the lad shall go over there, and we shall shakah and return to you. Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it on Yaquarah his being, and he took in his hand the fire and the knife. So the 2 of them halak on together. Yaquarah spoke to Abraham his Abba and said, Abi, and he said, here I am, my being. And he said, behold, the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering? Abraham said, Elohim shall provide for himself the lamb.
You know what you'll find right now? Right now, you can see what he's doing to Yaquarah is he's teaching him about him. And how we know that is because what he put it on his back. He told him, take my yoke upon you and learn of me. He took the yoke on, that's why he put the wood on his back. He was putting the yoke, he was binding with a burden. See, that was going to teach him. Let me ask y'all a question. What did Yaquarah know about offering something of a man to Yahuah before this? Because he told him he was going to make an offering. He said, I see the wood, I see the fire. He said, but I don't see the ram. So what did he know? A man don't get offered. You only offer a lamb or a goat. So when did he learn this? When he took the yoke on him. He told you, take my yoke upon you and learn of me. Guess how you trying to learn of him? With no struggles, with no heartache, with no perseverance. And you're going to get all this knowledge. Yet Yaquarah was going to give his life, and he had wood on his back. He took his yoke upon. He told you, come unto me, all that burden and heavy who, and I will give you, that's right, so no, I'm going to give you rest. I'm going to set you, you're going to be quiet, put you at ease. Take my, and do what? Why did Abraham teach him about it before now? Because he didn't have no yoke on him. See, once the weight got on him, now you can learn. Now you learn about me. Yahuah provide. Why wouldn't it make sense? This is what Yahushua told you. Why would we understand it unless we understood this? When did he learn about a man being offered to Yahuah for a sacrifice in the place of a lamb? He just told you, I see the wood. What didn't he see? Lamb. I don't see a lamb. So I know nothing about offering no man for no sacrifice. I see the other thing, but where is the offering? What he's going to take an exception of? He didn't even look at that. He got to teach him that. That's what he's learning. That's what you're doing. You're learning. So a lot of times you crying and complain about your problem, your situation, this is how we learn of it. through these burdens, through these troubles. Because now it's symbolism to what he went through. Huh? So you ain't gonna believe guess what Yaquarah learned? He learned about a lamb being led to the slaughter. And he learned how so dumb you open your mouth. Cause just look, at that point, I don't see, I'm just going on because I don't see it. So he was dumb before his shit. He had no idea Abraham was the one gonna kill him. He was dumb before his shit. He just told you that. I don't see the lamb. What that would make him? Dumb. Dumb. Feeling dumb. And that dad got to tell him, Elohim provide. Now I feel humiliated. It's something I should have known I didn't know. Hello? So all these things we sit here and we look at, and we're trying to come back now and get resolved and get a better understanding about this so we know how to operate, folks. We know how to function. We've lost bad. People, y'all, we hear so much stuff in your heart that it come back and it hurts you. This stuff has hurt when it came down to trying to obtain the knowledge we need for salvation. But now we're trying to go back over these things, look at these things, look at how we fix them, how we come back and realign ourselves by assessing what we've been doing and see how far off we've been. Come on, let's see that. Abraham said, Elohim shall
provide for himself the lamb for the burnt offering, my being. So the two of them halak on together.
Come on.
Then they came to the Malkum, of which the Elohim had told him, and Abraham built the altar there and arranged the wood, and bound his being Yaquarah, and laid him on the altar on the wood.
Y'all hear the screaming and hollering? And?
Abraham stretched out his hand and took the knife to slay his being. But the Malaki of Yahuah called to him from the Shamayim and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here I am. He said, Do not stretch out your hand against the lad, nor do him anything, for now I know that you Yara Elohim, since you had not withheld your being, your only one, from me. Then Abraham combed his and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in a thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered him up for a burnt offering instead of his being.
So now we just found out what he put in the stead for his son, which was a what?
Ram.
A ram. Which means if a ram could be offered for a man, then a man could be offered for a ram in the place of. It's kind of like numerical values. This is what he learned. But the only way he learned it was that he had to take a burden upon him. So he took on the burden that Yahushua had to take on for us. So he laid there, you ain't hear him not cry out or say nothing. You just used that with Yahushua. Yaquarah was first. Like a lamb dumb before his shear. See, he showed all the criteria of a lamb. A lamb didn't fight. He could have took off and ran from his daddy. But a lamb humble. A lamb just followed. And he sat there. Sometimes lamb had no idea what's going to happen to it. And he laid there and listen, and dumb before his shear. He didn't open his mouth. You never heard him ask his daddy any more questions about, what you doing? Why your hand up there? Why I'm tied up? Why I can't move my hand? My leg, what you doing? What you doing? He sat down. And that's how Yahushua knew what to do when he came. That's how he knew what to do. All he did was walk in the same exact steps. See, I know it's a simple teaching, but it's something you guys need to kind of really get yourself minded of and really start paying attention. This is what y'all want to look at. A lot of y'all been here too many years, you ain't grow yet. Y'all got the same practices. Same practices. Y'all still sleep. You ain't got the Ra Shyth. You still traveling, y'all making these trips. Y'all ain't growing. A lot of these Atlanta, you coming straight here every time. You hadn't grown. And you need to start investing and assessing why you hadn't grown. You become comfortable with where you are. That's not growth. How many people can be comfortable where they're at? Is that growth? Just in a rut. You just made it work for you. You made failing work for you. That's bad. Because we're going back over some things we're looking at now because we're looking at with everything you get and people say, I want to get this, I want to understand it. You can't understand this simplistic thing I'm trying to tell y'all now. I slowed it down for you. You know why he did this? 2 ways he told them when they came down to Yahuah. He said, Yahuah came to you. This man wasn't sparing nobody. And they condemned him. He said, I came, I sat down, I ate and drank with you. And you say, I got a devil. God Satan in me. He said, but wisdom is justified of her children. Because there's a trait you should exemplify. Everyone here, there's a trait. And can we see what a trait is? A distinguishing quality or characteristic, typically one belonging to a person. This is what you're missing, a trait. Y'all hear this? Something that distinguishes you out. Hello? Something that should separate you out. Just like Yahuah, he did something that separated him out from others. Hello? Even when they offered the lamb, they couldn't just grab any of them. It had to be a certain age. It had a certain appearance. It couldn't be no defects or no faults in it. Hello? When they came, they had two. And one of them was more noticeable than the other one. They said notable. I say it was more noticeable than the other one. And they told you why it was more noticeable. He was a robber, and he was accused of sedition, trying to overthrow government. But then you had Yahuah. He had a distinguishing trait. Well, he did no kataim, neither was deceit found in his paw, in his mouth. So you got to be careful about what you let come out of your mouth. The opening of your paw, I told y'all, things enter your body a certain type of way. How they looked at it for, now you do rectum, depository, pretty much they looked at that thing. They didn't do shots of things how we do it. It had to go in by the mouth. So you had to be careful about what went in your mouth because they're going to determine what come out of it. Just like how you vomit, certain things come back up. It went down one way, but it come out another way. That's why you got to be careful what you take down. It's deceptive. How many of y'all have had to regurgitate food you eat before because it was bad? Why you didn't catch it before it went down? Some of us taste, I've been getting, kind of had a little fun of something that really should have told me not to. Have y'all ever had that? Mm-hmm. Somebody snuck past you, you didn't catch nothing. Somebody you say, something told me not to eat that stuff. I started to stop eating it, but I didn't want to waste it. And you know what? That showed the type of people we are when it comes down to things wrong. We can disguise enough in our minds to keep going. But you know, he showed us, it's coming back up. Mm-hmm. That's all. That's the only reason why you vomit, just show you, it's coming back up. And you know what? It don't look the same, do it? But that's what you said, oh, that's disgusting. Because you couldn't see it with your eye. You were blinded. You saw disgust when it came back up. You see it when he come back, he give you retribution for your behavior. That's when you see how bad behavior. That's why it's important to try to identify it before. Catching things before. The mouth, the palate, the tongue, the taste. What's the purpose of the five senses? Alert, alert, alert. Let's stop. They're probably all right. Probably just me. I had something else earlier. They call a palate, the tongue, the palate. All those little buds sitting out, they're there for a reason. We're trying to stop before it gets somewhere critical. Sometimes when things get here, that's life ending. Hello? Things get here, life ending. Y'all got certain things here. The old stroke, we talked about that, blockage go up here, life ending. This is the thing we got to start considering. We sit here to work. We don't really sit down and we're really practical about this. How important it really go through yourself and see where you at. Go and see look at where your time, where you put your heart at, what you look at you think on the most, what you give yourself to. All these are key reasons why you do what you do. Everybody in him, where your heart at. He told that's where your treasure at. And that's what you deem that more valuable than anything else. That's the only why you ain't growing. There's nobody here, nobody watching in that can't be saved. It's all about your treasures. Can we see what treasure is, please? Does it help y'all out to look these words up? Yes, sir. Does it? Yes. I mean, y'all tell me they ain't helping. We'll do something different. A quantity of precious metals, gems, or other valuable, my kids, my wife, husband, my mama, my daddy, my grandmama, my granddaddy, my job, my things. Those are your treasures. That's where your heart at. See that? And look what they told you about first. Precious metals, gems. That's how deep. Then you come in and find ore. Because they let you know, because somebody said, there ain't no diamond in me, there ain't no gold in me. It is when you look at the service you give them, how you regard them. How you regard treasure, precious metal. What, you just throw them around? You let everybody handle them and keep them? No, it's too precious. Something happen, I might lose it. If I lose it, that's everything I got. That's precious to me. And this is why a lot of times we don't grow. This is why we stay stagnated, because there are things that people don't set down and you don't process. How you got to look at things, because this shows you where you at. Listen, what's keeping you from being saved? Somebody tell me. Just tell me what it is. You have to tell me. That's major with everybody. Self. Because if thing won't get, this is what we'll use too for excuse. I'm just trying to figure it all out. I'm just trying to work it all out. It's nothing to figure out. If it's wrong, what we trying to figure? A lot of stuff with it. Why? And once we know we're in a place, they in the right place, why are we standing right down? Look out, something to fall and hit you dead on top of your head. Why am I still standing right here? But why? It don't make sense to me. Get out the way. Get out of the way. Everybody in the way when the word comes, include me. Everybody in the way. And purpose. I want you in the way. So you learn what you need to get out of. All these are your warnings now to let you know. You need to get, this is what you need to stop doing. This is what you need to change. This is what you got. This is the whole purpose. People like every time I find out something I'm doing wrong, because we are doing something wrong. We all doing something wrong. The word comes, and then you keep learning. When you learn, guess what? I'm out of the way of that. I'm out of the way of that. I'm out of the way of that. That's how you keep adjusting. People keep thinking it's going to be one big move one day. No, it's a constant. Because once you get past the big thing, there's the little things you start. You say, I didn't think about that. I thought I was good. I know. That's why you got to keep growing. But in order to get you to that point, we got to start dealing with the bigger things first to get them out the way. Start establishing foundation, first of all, of how practical it is and what you're hearing, how you need to take it. When they heard it, they knew it was contingent on their life to listen. What's your real ideology or your thinking about what you're hearing? Can somebody tell me? How serious is this? Don't lie. Don't worry about it. I rather you don't tell me that's stupid. Because when you tell me that, I'm going to ask you some more questions, and then it's going to butt down nitty gritty. You're going to realize you just said something to try to look like this is what preacher want to hear. I don't want you to tell me what I want to hear. I want you to be telling me the truth. What is your real understanding on this? How urgent, how pressing, and what do you think really going to happen to you? Now, you're going to tell me a lie. I'm going to tell you why it's a lie. It's going to be the truth what come out of your mouth, but that ain't what you believe, because if that's what you believe, you wouldn't be doing what you're doing. I want y'all to understand what I just asked you. Do y'all understand what I told you?
Yes, sir.
I know what you're going to tell me, because you'll be a fool to say something different, but you, sir, you, ma'am, are going to be a liar if you're doing contrary to what you tell me. It's got to be that serious to you. He made it pressing on these people. Everything they had to do had to be quick. Why do you think Abraham answered when they asked him where he at? Abraham, where you at? Hold on, give me. Trying to say I want to answer that. Did you hear me when I talking to you? When I called you, you're supposed to answer then. You know, we got to get it together, clear our throat, take some warm tea so we don't crack. It's the procrastination of. And this man knew from Adam could have made a difference had he been there when he called him. So when the man called me, I don't want to be wasting a whole lot of time. I need to be answering and stay in my place. I'm here. When you call me, I'm where I'm supposed to be. Because there's some work you're trying to do with me. And if I'm not where I'm supposed to be, then you can't use me. If my mind is not set where it's operable, he can't use me. I don't care how pretty a car is, I don't care what the rim look like. If the motor and the transmission in it, it ain't doing me no good. This is us. You look good, but there's no substance in you, and he can't use you. So you got to start looking at function the way you're supposed to operate. Y'all, let me tell you something. I provide y'all coffee. Shouldn't be doing all this stuff. Y'all don't have to come in at 1:30. Please tell me why y'all in here asleep. Y'all tell me why y'all. This date is just blatantly just disrespectful to everything the man stands for. Let me tell y'all why. I know it's the human part of Friday night. I'm going to help y'all out. Because we've been in error too long, covered up too much stuff. Do y'all understand this y'all soul? You know the word place to me to go to Sheol at? Right here. What is it, I'm talking too fast? I slowed it down because I want to make sure we get it. I'm telling you what, I'll tell y'all something that more people want to tell you. I care enough to say, I want us to clean up these mistakes we've been making. Because they're critical mistakes. This is where we go. We give him his time on our convenience. Then I need him, if you will, move right now. If you will, stretch out your hand. If you hand, dissolve all doubt. Now, send your healing hand in. He said, what'd you say? Because we got to look now. What's supposed to be? What is it? So if I take it out, what are you supposed to take? My pinky toe? If I knock your tooth out, what are you supposed to do? He supposed to pinch me on my kneecap? So what you get him, please look for the same thing. He said it got to be just measured, just weight. I'm telling you let me tell you something. We've been doing it too long to be this far behind. Y'all know we coming, we ain't going to be here for no 10, 20 minutes. He told me y'all coming here, you supposed to keep your feet. You supposed to be ready to heal. If y'all sleep, don't y'all know these are the sacrifices of fools? Because at that point, he's saying, I counted unworthy. I don't respect what you're doing. I was just asleep. I don't respect what you've done. Because the intent is for us to gather something. And the reason why I tell you this is because too many people are dying every day. And they just got the record, they showed up. I don't want on my record I showed up. I want on my record I showed up and I complied. I want to be said, just like Yahuah said, I finished the work you get. I want to be able to show, listen, I fought a good fight. I finished my course. All these things he gives, this is something he designates for us. This ain't for the faint in heart. It's really not. And people might look at it and take it as a small thing. You're giving yourself over to a deity that you believe is all seeing, all knowing. So if I'm asleep, now he got to be going back and looking at what is the reason why? Am I sick? I'm on some medication I took that put me out, or it's called how I assess my time. Because we get Shabbat later. We mean, you can sleep, I go sleep probably. I don't know what time we got, about 3 o'clock probably? I don't know what time. Something like that. Then y'all know I ain't sleeping long anyway. I got to get morning polite, then I got to go, then I got to get up, and I'm back and forth in my mind. I got to be thinking, I got to be talking with him, I got to consider him. I got to make sure I keep a certain order. Y'all know why? Because I need him to record, I want him to rely for me. Regardless of what my situation is, and it ain't giving me to sleep a whole lot of time, that cannot take off what's primary. When it comes down to what's primary for us, it's got to be your soul. And when he see that, this really not that important to you, I don't know what kind of progress I'm looking to get from him. Don't you look to no heal from your help. You can't see no heal through the close of your eyes. Isn't that right? That book said they should look on him. They weren't sleeping on that man. They were looking. I know it's key because with the eye. You know why it was important? The eye that's how they took knowledge. Through the eye, through appearance. He said they're going to look. You know how important it was for their eye to be open. If they weren't looking, it was critical. When the people murmured and grumbled, what they get bit by? Nakash. When the people started dying, Mushal went quickly, took a black piece of brass, fastened it to a serpent, and nailed onto a stick. You ain't gonna believe how people got saved. The sleep people. So what happened when you were asleep? You ain't gonna believe it. Dead now. Everybody had to look on it. He said, whoever been, if they looked on it. You said, as simple as that was, somebody said, I don't hear with my ears. I mean, I don't hear with my eyes, I hear with my ears. I don't have to see everything. You just tell me. But he told her they were gonna look on him. See, these were the reason why he put it, because there's always somebody who's gonna try to rearrange the game. I was there. I didn't see it, but I was there though. I seen Dave was there. I know Shakira, she was there. But nobody asked did he see Shakira. Nobody asked you who else you seen there. They're gonna look on him whom they pierce. And they learned that from the how they knew how symbolic it was because the people had been bit because of sin. So taking the serpent and fastening on the nail became their salvation by the very thing they had been bitten by. Oh, you got to check. Come on there and get that check and get through. So now when you're looking at it, in order for them to be saved, how important and key was it for them to see? Goodness, I guess I got to wake up y'all mind too. The only way they could be saved, they had to see it. That's limited. That's how we learn. And this means what we have to start doing is we got to start changing our time and how we do stuff. I'm just being honest with y'all. Because when it comes down to your salvation, only reason he letting us slow that down, this is him. It means, listen, I give you 30 minutes, we can be gone. I can be good. But let's just be honest. Where you going to be at? Where you going to be at that man take you out here today? Where you going to bet he die? I don't even want you to raise your hand. The man come back in here right now. 5 minutes. I give you some time. 5 minutes. He come back. Let's say 100%. You judge for yourself. Where you going? I don't even want your answer. I want you to scream your answer out. Don't even do it. Where you going? Now, how that sleep gonna help you? We're gonna be taking a long one, like on life. When I'm telling that, this have my time. Learn to play around too much. Too much. Y'all waste too much time. Too much call. Too much got to feed y'all. Listen, I know during the week we get it going. We got to start prioritizing our time. Spend it come to Shabbat. That's why he gave it the rest. That's why he gave it to you. He wants you to rest. So it could be rest. If you take time to do something else, he said, okay, as long as you make sure you don't violate. Because this going to be your soul contingent on you. We can cry, holler when something happens, something come up. What we going to holler about? How much attention we give to his stuff. Well, I'm too stressed out. I got too much going on. He said, well, you need to cut it short. I remember one time we were messing with the white. Me, Bostic, Justin, some more. We had went out of town. We came back. We said, man, with the white waiting on. We got back. We drove back up down. We got out of the car. So we were playing. We said, man, I said, man, that's right. We said, that fast be over the night. Yeah, we ready. We said, yeah, man, we be done. Man. Hold on. So one of them had a place. So, yeah, I got this. So later on after fast, so we got in the car. The white was just looking at him. He was trying to figure out fast. What's going on? So I just played. I was like, got in the car. I called him. I said, yeah. I don't know if we were saying shalom then. Yeah. I said, I think we said pray to Lord. I said, all right, brother. He was like, yeah. I said, you are fasting, right? You have been fasting. He was like, oh, fasting. I said, you been fasting. Justin said, yeah, he was fasting. He had been. I said, you were fasting, nigga. We've been fasting. He said, Justin telling a flat lie. I ain't been fasting. He didn't know. He Justin I'm trying to help him out. We were messing with it, but just looking at how important it is to be on key. But how did you feel though? You felt like you were lost outside of something we were doing and you missed something. We were just messing with him because we come to see somebody actually hurt themselves. But I'm telling you how important it is. You're going to find yourself on the outside of this. Let me tell you what y'all do. Tell you about them. Don't get comfortable with these people. Here, nowhere else. Listen, I'll harp, y'all hear me? I'll harp all my members. People have a way of keeping you suppressed till you growing. Let me tell you what have you had to watch somebody. It's key. How long you been here? What's your growth? Now, you're going to get some words out their mouth, and now you're going to learn exactly how tall they are. That's just being honest. You can't fool with folks that ain't got a mind to grow. They people, I'm going to force them, I'm going to push them, I'm going to beat them, I'm going to whoop them because I harbor. But you can't get yourself caught with people and realize, how long you been here? And you should have been here, so that means you become stagnated, which means you have to start looking at those you are stagnated. You need to ask yourself, what does hinder you? What's hindering you? Because the whole goal of coming here should have been, make sure I get this thing right. If nobody want to enforce that on you, they don't care about you. That's the most important reason to come here. Let me tell you something. I enjoy y'all. Y'all know how to tell. I like to laugh and have fun. Man, I'm not going no shit over with you. That's your choice. That's your choice. At the end of the day, now, I ain't gonna let them stay long. I catch it. You know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get rid of you. And that purposely. Because everybody, that's the only way those people work. They worked off of fear. Everything contingent upon fear. And you need to have fear. And you know what? Why is it you don't have a fear you dying and burning in Sheol? Why you don't have a fear? Why you thinking if I just keep showing up, keep coming? Don't you know people kept showing up and kept coming and never received anything? Listen, in the 11th chapter of the book of Abarim, they call Hebrew. You had to go and get it. When he talked about all those people and what they went through, y'all remember that? Start going through. Then he said, these all having attained, but not having. I think he said they had seen it fall. He did say that. That was key. Because y'all missed something early when I was reading. I know you did it. You missed it then. Because he said they haven't seen the fall. When Abraham took up Yaquarah, it told you he saw the fall. See, Yahuah hadn't come to where he couldn't see it. See, he saw the fall. He told him, go out to one of Harim, them a name. And he told you that Abraham seen the fall. So he had an idea where he was going. Let me ask you a question. Do you see where you're going? Do any of y'all see where you're going? That's dangerous. Because he told this man where to go and told him, and I'm going to ship him the place to make sure we don't have no problem. It's going to have a name. You're going to know exactly where you're going. And then he said he saw the fall. Why is it that your vision's so dull that you don't see this? It's tight. Let's see. 2 Corinthians 4:1. We had some things we were going to look at there. For whatever reason, he got me going that way, and I appreciate it, because we're going to get it right. We done played around way too long. And I don't want to do you a disservice. I know everybody look like your friend. I know you and your other pastors, y'all was so tight. Y'all hoochie coochie partner. But somebody need to care enough about you to tell you the truth. Because I care enough about me. My soul contingent on it. My soul contingent on making sure that I put this out in a proper manner, you understand it, you can process it. My soul on the line. You know, say it real quick, they don't get it, they're just dumb and stupid. No, he told me write it and make it plain. So the one that can read it, they can run. He said, because it's for, what was it? That's how I want to make sure. And at the end, and not, you ain't gonna believe it, he said it's finished. At the end, he didn't know it was complete. He wasn't lying. So, meaning, everything he's supposed to do on his end been done. How about you? Hello? He said thank you, Dan. How about you? He said his part was finished. Where are you at with your part? And and that's amazing. You'll be in class school, they do this now. Do project. Everybody put maybe 4 or 5, everybody responsible for a part. He said, well, I did the majority of it. You did yours? How y'all here this long? We hadn't done it. Listen, stop letting these relationships get y'all held up. Sometimes wives or husbands, they might be comfortable where they at. That had nothing to do. That had nothing to do with me. I'm just being honest with y'all. Listen, at the end of the day, I can assure y'all, I'm focused on making sure I get that right. She better be doing the same. If I catch something different, I can assure you, separation is soon on the move. I'm not like these other people. I ain't got time to drag nothing. I ain't got time to drag and forth nothing. You're either gonna be with it or you're gonna be gone. Y'all got that? That flat. She ain't done that. But if I catch it, you're gonna be gone. That flat. Listen, I'm too old. I'm putting too much time to mess around and be going backwards trying to hold on to something. This ain't no forced way. This is something you gotta decide for yourself. Like how you gotten comfortable with friendship and other stuff people doing, and you're gonna die. Anybody finna kill themselves and jump in a hole with you? You better be serious. This is your life. Why y'all think he keep letting little occurrence happen up? These are warnings. These are listen, listen. Ain't gonna be no more recovery now. I'm gonna strike you one more time. When I hit you next time, you ain't gonna recover from this one. He done play with us. He done gave us way too much extension. Way too much. You keep calling folks, I'm gonna pay it there with him. Okay now. I got one extension from, can you give me this Friday? This Friday first. Listen, I ain't lying. This Friday you ain't got it. We through talking. I'm cutting it off. I want full payment, I want everything. It's all, we're done. And a lot of folks don't realize you can't afford that. You can't go back and pay nothing for it. He done told you the redemption of your soul too costly. What you gonna pay for a soul that bleeds out and there's life in it? There's no money that can put that back. He purposely set that up. The only way a man can get this, you got to walk in the favor of this man. He don't want your money. He don't want your food. He don't want your fruit. That man don't want your vegetable. He said, I want you. I've been trying to get you to comply the whole time. I already used this stuff, sacrifice, offering for sin, which was offered by the law. He's already done this stuff. He said, I don't have no pleasure in this stuff. I look at your obedience, and you hadn't given it up one time. Do one thing, and then you ready to be saved. One thing. You think what Abraham did? One thing? Man, it was constant. Constantly following, constantly acknowledging, constantly never impeding on nothing that Elohim told him to do. Everything the man did just what the man told him. Follow in my steps. And here we sit down. Y'all know, y'all know what these people watching too? You know they can't believe. Do this. I want you to put the comment. I want to just say, tell these folks, those y'all watching, how you can't believe these people ain't following. Y'all be surprised. These people watching, these folks saying, surely all these people where they need to be. Surely that, what y'all getting? Y'all, what I'm speaking too fast, I'm talking in tongues. We'll look it up. We'll find out because it's that important. People count on y'all people. They count on me to do my job. And they ain't putting too much weight or stress on me. You doing what, listen, I was already forward to do it in the first place. I know what, listen, I know how important it is. I don't want to die and be wrong. I don't want to burn. Why I want that for you? Why would you want that for yourself? You're in a bad place when you're okay with This just my life, I'm going to burn. Something wrong with you. You can't be okay with that. It is what it is. It can't be it is what it is if he give me information. Then I got a choice. I got a choice that when I hear it, I can comply. I can do it if I want to save my life. He done told me that. This ain't something I came up with. If a man want to save his soul alive, save his soul alive, that man will comply with this man, what he's saying. That's why I'm doing it. I want to save my soul alive. That ain't something you can do and come back from it. When you dead, you are dead, folks. What they say? Great teaching. Bill, I appreciate you. Shalom. Oh, there's somebody else. Oh, there's synagogue. Okay. We in Scott Hill. They're right. Then the great teacher. I'm trying my best. Listen, by the con of Yahuah. Only reason why they slowed down and talk the way we're talking, Yahuah saw fit. Before he cut us off. Let me tell you what y'all don't realize. It's going to be harder for us in the day of March Party. It's going to be for a lot of people. It's going to be harder for us. You ain't going to get the same thing everybody get. Because you're going to look at, I let a man break it down for you and take time to do that for you. To make sure you get it. Nobody jumping over your head. Nobody trying to run around. Nobody trying to fake you out. Nobody trying to make you look dumb and stupid. Nobody trying to talk. If you didn't understand that, you're going to burn in hell. He said, why would I do that? His intent, all of he saw a heart the alarm. That's why he gave for, listen, whosoever. Whosoever. He said anybody. Whosoever. He had to do that. Don't y'all know at first everybody couldn't get in? A Hittite, a Moabite. A lot of people couldn't get in. They're 10th generation. He said, whosoever. Whosoever believe. Whosoever. Listen, he said he can have it. He said, listen, I took down the wall. We had walls. Why y'all think the walls came down Jerusalem? Walls separated from people. Badal. That's what they call Badal, separate. That's what the wall was there. It separated between us. The border separated us. And Yahuah looked down, tear them down. He said, I tore down the middle wall of petition, tear it down. I tore down what separated you from me. I tore down what separated you from any amount of people. All you got to do is believe. Let everybody hear. Everybody can hear this. When y'all hear this is what you do. Now you start going through and you assess what's valuable to you. Every one of y'all sitting here watching, this is what you've done. You do this every service. Don't lie to yourself. You assess what you hear based upon your priorities. And this ain't the most pressing thing in your life, and you want what's pressing in his life. When I come back, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you dead when I come back. Because you didn't take the warning I gave you before I came. This is him warning you before he comes. He done gave you listen, I done hollered, I done fussed, I done screamed, I done yelled and spit, and I talked to you calm. And the only reason it's been happening, because when you come back, you're going to be without excuse. And don't say you weren't warned. You won't be able to beg for your life. It'll be futile. It won't make sense. Because if you cared about your life, you'll do something about it while you're living. This is the first time learning my life, learning the way of learning. This is the first time I proved I care about my life. I abstain from. I abstain. Ain't nothing wrong with me. Why I can't have no sex out of nobody? I restrain. I abstain because my soul on the line. He said, that's how, man. He told me, said, Smith, you can do it, but you can't save your soul. And my soul too precious. He said, so precious. He said, I wouldn't let man watch, man, listen, I'll pay you for it right now. He said, it's too costly. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't even accept that. It's too little. What you try? I can give you all the money in the world. He says, listen, it's too costly. He set it up that way. There's no way you can pay for it. It's just not possible. He made it that way. You know what a man can do? A man can work to prove himself before Elohim. He said, you know what? I'll do you a favor. That's all you can get best out of. I'll do you a favor. You know, that's what I help you out. That's all he did. I help you out. I'll do you a favor. That's what the man did for me. And I'm working to prove to this man that I was worth giving me this opportunity. We have wasted so much time arguing, fussing with people, trying to prove who ain't right, who ain't sticking with the book, who ain't doing, at the cost of all of our souls. That's not our agenda. Our agenda to get this thing right before this man come back here and kill every one of us. We have played, we have lied, we have hypocrited, we done committed ourselves over and over and over. I change. If I don't change this time, strike me down and kill. He like, you think I need you to tell me when to strike you down and kill you? I let you do this to show you, you a liar. It will purpose. So you'll put everything you got in it to stop to change who you are. But it has to be that important to you. And the fact is not, because you look, you know you're not growing. Why would you keep doing it when you're not growing? You're not comfortable with yourself. You're not comfortable where you're at. You know you're not getting no communication from them. You can't keep standing under nobody else's wing. Eventually, you got to fly for yourself. It's just like a baby eagle. It's fine. Mama eagle, daddy eagle bring you something, but eventually, they're going to need you to get out their nest. You're going to go out and you have to get for yourself. Man told me years ago, said an eagle, they build a nest with sticker briars. And said the reason they do it, when they feed the chicks get heavier and heavier, the sticker briars be sticking them. So it forced them to get out the net. That man sticking you to get out the net. Time for you to leave the nest. Time to get right. Don't you mess around and play around. You don't know when that man can come and get you. Anytime, any day, any minute, any hour, and any second. I know you take a second and pass and you didn't die, but it's one waiting on you. Can you imagine he got a second waiting on you? Everybody here got a date with a second on it. They can say, oh, he died. It took him about 23 hours. No, it didn't. It don't take but a second. You be out of here. You just suffered during that time. But it ain't going to take but a second to take you out of here. And you ain't going to get a chance to get a repentance in or try to say, I'm sorry. Give me another chance. How many would have done that before? Give me another chance. I'm sorry. I repent. This time I'm going to do right. Give me a chance. How many times you think you're going to keep listening to lie? That's who you can't keep being. We've been that person too long. We've been that way too long. We've been going around in circles too long and not where we need to be, where we should be. That's what we're trying to get to now. So it slowed down, but it been to our benefit to get this thing right. Don't just be showing up. You don't want to just be looking a certain kind of way, and that's not really where your heart at. Even with this way, this ain't for everybody. I can't get mad at you and hate you. I'll be disappointed, hurt that this is not something you want to do. At the end of the day, it ain't in your heart to do it. And if I was you, I wouldn't do it. I'm only doing it because it's in my heart to do it. Don't do it because folks going to look at you and I don't want to look. If I walk out there, people going to talk I'm a hypocrite. Listen, you won't get one YouTube video out of me about it. That's your choice. A man's soul got to be precious to him. That's why he made it so valuable. He wanted to put it, and he attached it to certain things to show you how things work. Because we saw the value in having a lamb, because we could use it for an offering, or a goat. We saw the offering, all these things. Then he turned around and said, give me a man. I don't know about using a man. I know about using the goat. He said, but I've been telling you about how symbolism about the blood. When I told Noah, when he came out the ship, off the Taba, I told him off the ark. I told him about that. I told him not to eat the dung. I told him it was the soul of all living. I let him know I kept that. I used that for the atonement. I used that to reconcile you. That was the purpose of putting Yahuah up there. I used him to reconcile you guys back. See, my law can't be impeded on. When you don't commit sin, I got to get a soul for that. That soul committed sin, that soul got to die. Can you imagine one man carrying all of our souls? And this is how we repay him back. This is how we repay him back. I sleep on him, I play on him. I ain't grown. I'm at the same level. I'm not mature when it comes down to the word of where I need to be in this situation. I'm stagnating. Matter of fact, I'm getting worse. And I'm a confession away from masturbation, from lying, from doing everything. How many times are we going to do this? How many times? How many times? Can we confess before? How many times? How many times are we going to keep doing this? And you don't even realize you're not growing. You need to go back and do your first work sober. What that feel you had when y'all first heard it, when you said, I'm going to stop everything. I don't care about nothing. How many of y'all had that feel? It wasn't nothing in point, but I had to stay outside. Where that at? Where that's at? Where that's at? Listen, if I had to sleep in my car, I just got to be saved. When he troubled us, what happened? You don't think he remembered it? It's recorded. What happened when we said, man, listen, I don't care I live anyway if I can just be saved. I don't care about none of this stuff I got. I'm tired of who I am. I just want to be saved. And now you came here to cover yourself up, and you worse than you was. That's what you got to look at. How did you grow and get worse than your confession? That's all I want us to realize. We done played a long time. We done used everybody for an excuse. We done put everything, like people do now, everybody an excuse for why they fail. I ain't using nobody for nothing. Everything I done, it was me. It was me. Regardless of what somebody did, it was me. Quit trying to use other folk. If other folk leave me alone, it will mean. You put yourself in a situation for other folks to bother you. It will mean. It's time for us to get grown and get serious, because the goal of you coming here is to obtain the Ruach HaKodesh. That's the spirit of separation. One that calls and get a man to come out from himself, come out from his deed, from his action. He said, I give this man there as a token to seal this man, to keep this man until I come back. But this man has to follow a regimen. This man has a bodybuilder has a regimen. He ain't gonna work out every 2-3 weeks. He can't keep up. He got an eating regimen. He got a vitamin regimen. He got all kind of regimen. Why they do that? It goes on what he's trying to accomplish. What are you trying to accomplish? And tell me your regimen. Well, y'all tell me your regimen who ain't got it. Tell me your regimen. I can tell you right now it ain't working. Oh, okay, you don't want to tell me. You already know it ain't working. So why are you taking a regimen? I'm taking some protein. I'm getting fatter and fatter. Should I keep taking the protein? Y'all want to think about that for y'all answer? Because everybody jumps so fast, y'all holler, no. How y'all said all of a sudden I don't need to take it if it's making me fatter? So how you not looking at the regimen you're doing, you ain't got the Ruach HaKodesh, why you still taking it? Because y'all were quick to come out y'all mouth and just tell me no, instead of thinking and say, hold on, let me wait, I don't know. It could be something I could be doing. I could be taking the protein but not working out with it. I could be taking too much of the protein. Y'all just told me out the rip, don't take it no more. Because y'all went with the first quickest segment. If you ain't getting what you supposed to be getting from it, quit taking it. I agree. So what's taking so long with your regimen? Why your regimen ain't working? Let's go over your regimen. That's where we at. I really just want us to get this thing right. You can't play for so long. And you know when playing gonna get old? When you see yourself on your deathbed and you laying there and nobody there for you. Nobody help you. And you realize this is it. And what you gonna tell them? This time, I'm gonna be serious. You think that's what he gonna wanna hear? We done done this too many times. I waited way too many times for you. Eviction starting now. Once the eviction proceeded, once it started passing through by him, you got to move out that body. 2 Corinthians 4:1. This ain't for everybody. Just people that got a mind to get it right. I know everybody ain't got that mind. I know you ain't, but guess what? I'm going to keep working until you get it. I'm going to work it till you get it. And you might have to get this with it now. Get a couple of these, pop, get it right. But it'll be for you better, man. Plus, I'm going to like it. I like being members. Listen.
Therefore, we have this Shara, even as we receive Rakam, we do not lose love.
See that? And we realized that was so. No, look what we were saying.
Rakam.
That keeps us from losing heart. If I keep doing it and I can't get it, why would I stay excited about it? Why would I stay motivated about it? I can't get it. But you can get it. Everybody here can get it. Who in here can't get it? Raise your hand. Don't lie. Who in here feel like they can't get it? Okay, then you need to become possessed of it. Now, two things happen. You know which is right, or you just lied because you don't want to raise your hand because you don't want people to look at you. You want me to question you, and people want to know why you feel like you can't get it. But that been your life, hasn't it? You just lie about it. But in your mind, you already told yourself, I can't get it. I just don't want to waste up the time and hold up other people. You just bought into another lie. I had that lie. I bought it too. It was on sale. It was right up at the front of the register, and I grabbed it. It was quick. And I grabbed and I left there with it because it gives you the excuse to be the lazy, no good, miserable person you are. It gives you an excuse. Think about it. If I can't be saved, then I mean, it really ain't no skin off my back. Ain't like I can be saved anyway. I ain't losing nothing. I ain't gonna be saved anyway. You let somebody sell you that bad bill of goods. What is it that this book gonna say do that you can't do? Be honest. Raise your hand. Tell me what's up here that we read that you can't do. So you can be saved. So you just want to believe a lie for the sake of that's how you've always lived your life. I like lies. How many people here know these people haven't been honest about they don't believe? You tell me everybody here believe they can be saved. Don't worry about raising your hand now. This is the truth that you're going to try to pass off on me? That you believe that and you hadn't done it. Now tell me, what did that make you? I believe I could be saved, I just don't do it. The reason I'm questioning y'all, because if we don't, people have a way of hiding under their own lies. I know because I did it. See, when you ain't being questioned and pushed and challenged on what you believe on it, then you're just kind of gone up on that little hidden rock of lies and stay there, and nobody even know it but just you. And you go nowhere. Why would you come somewhere if you feel like you couldn't be saved? If I went to a hospital, I don't feel like they could help me, I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go to a grocery store that didn't have food. I wouldn't go to a gas station that the pumps don't work. I wouldn't sit there, I'd leave immediately. I wouldn't look there and sat there and say, well, I'm just sitting here until they fix the pumps. They probably be out here in another week or two. I'm leaving right then. Now you tell me your real reason for why you've been sitting, you've been wasting time. Because you didn't tell me that you couldn't be saved. Now that scares me. If you bought into I couldn't be saved, then we know how we fix that process. So you do know you could be saved, you just refuse to do it. Can somebody help me with the answer? No answer, no helper. See that? One person tell me what it is, Gary.
I've been judging myself by other people.
I appreciate it. He said he's been judging himself by other people. See, true. How many of y'all been guilty of that? Raise your hand. Well, don't be ashamed. What y'all ashamed? Listen, let me tell you something. Y'all ashamed because other people gonna know? If you was ashamed like that, then you wouldn't be doing it. You would do something different. Shame can be good if it moves you to do the right thing, but why would you stay up under it? Some people use it because it's a good cover. It's a good excuse to always use. Like, I was molested. My uncle touched me one time. Okay, you still getting touched? No, when it was 75 years ago. How old are you? 23. All your numbers all jacked up. Whatever what you say. How you gonna use that for the rest of your life? So what gives you the excuse that you don't have to be saved if you were touched? If you were tickled? If somebody had sex when they were older, which one of these excuses cover you and verify that you don't have to be saved? Or you ain't got to do what everybody else got to do? Regardless of what your past is, every one of us got the same responsibility. Every one of us. Does not matter if I practiced homosexuality, I was a drunk, I smoked crack, I snorted dope, I did amphetamine, I did crystal meth. Which of these excuses give you the justification that you don't have to do what everybody else got to do? So why are you using it? It don't get you no pass. Everybody, people like that. I don't know why people keep thinking something happened to them is your excuse why you don't have to do nothing. Everybody has something that's happened in their life traumatic to them. It might not be to the extreme that what your situation is. Everyone deals with something. When it comes down to salvation, you have to put all that aside. That's part of humbling yourself. Not making your situation or yourself to be some great one that now your situation can allude to you not doing what you've been called to do. But when you humble yourself and put this, make yourself where you're not so significant, then you can do the work. Most of our problem has been not humbling ourselves. My hurt feeling. Take your feeling, shove them in your behind. How many feelings y'all think Yahushua had hurt? Your own brother man home ain't seen you do nothing. Them folks say, I ain't gonna believe you don't show up at the Muhad. Wow. Y'all live right here and you know me. You see me. This is the kind of foods we got to put up with. Now you ain't going to believe me. I told y'all can go up. The folks trying to kill me. How many hurt feelings you think you had? After you done everything you can for folks, all you get done is get ran down and called something. And which of these things that hurt him, he used for his excuse why he can do what he was commanded to do. So why you think you going to get by? We getting ready to embark upon Kafar, and we right at the same level we used to be at. Every year the same thing, you hadn't took it serious. You just think it's an appointment, just show so please don't say nothing. That way I can show my face. Your face ain't worth nothing. You might as well show you behind. Well, you've been showing you behind. I don't know why you worry about showing your face, because you ain't done what you need to do. I refuse for there to be another year we're going to go back and do the same thing. We're better than that. We get too much information, we get too much patience, we get too much time put on for us to get going backward. First thing we do, nobody judge themselves by nobody else. we'll do it according to the rule. Yahuah said, we not as others that judge themselves by themselves in so doing are not wise. He said, we do it according to the rule. What you done carrying, what the average of us do, though. You did nothing the rest of us don't do. We do it. It's easy. Why not? That'd be my scrape. We run, John, Daniel, Candy, Austin outrun me. It ain't for me. I know I'm going to win anyway. I'm going to use them. I ain't nobody. I couldn't do it because I'm going to grade myself off of them. And a lot of times we always looking for other people to justify our rest or rationalize the reason why we're not where we need to be. You can't keep using nobody. That's what they did. The Benin kept blaming the others because he said, I visited the sins of the father upon who? To the third and the fourth to the dog. So now everybody do something wrong. Somehow they seem to say, man, what going on, man? You living right? Oh, no, I'm living right, nigga. My dad had did something. He said, wow, that's interesting. Because I really paid you back for what you did. But I'll get to use my dad. And my dad, and his dad. And I'm the third, so I'm still suffering for them. He said, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to move that out of the way. Everybody going to suffer for themselves. Everybody going to pay for themselves. You know one way to do that? Yahushua became your father. In the 9th chapter of the book of Yahuah, under us, what we getting? A child upon. Y'all under us? A Ben. Got somebody to carry the house on. And the government going to be on his shoulders. His name gonna be called one counselor. What are we gonna call him? Everlasting Father. The only way to have father, be a father is to, you don't have to have kids. So if he became your father, who you trying to use transgression you carrying? Who exactly, what father you saying, whose sin you carrying? Because he became the father. Hello? So it was not hard for the son to be the father. All he had to do was beget children. That would make him the father. Now, exactly, who said you trying to use? Because he told you that every man was going to pay for his own kata. So whatever you suffering, you do know this at your own hands. You are the victimizer of you. You are the destroyer of you, not other people. You are. Regardless of what other people do, you are. These are choices we've all made, and we blame everybody. These are our choices. I don't have to consent to what other people say. I don't have to believe what nobody else. I don't care what nobody else say at the end of the day. When it comes down to me, or when it comes down to impeding upon or making me turn away from what he said, at that point, what you say don't matter to me. I got to stay the course. I owe myself to make sure I get this right. Do y'all understand you owe yourself? Everyone here, you 1 second away from your behind being dead. And you ain't even nowhere near you need to be. That don't bother you. That don't bother you that you played around, you rationalized, you done went in your head, took some junk, run with that stuff, then come back and try to play for me, then go back to your world of doing something. Now you gotta stay consistent. You gotta just start changing what we're doing. Change how you process things. Change how you look at people with stuff. I just change how I look at people. I don't have time to deal with a lot of that stuff. A lot of stuff I did, I just look at, but it was important for me because I need to see that in order for me to get where I'm at now. Now I can do like some people, I shut down, take the sign, and we just go because I made mistakes. So those mistakes were made so I can come in and see the correct way. And then I can see the detriment of the wrong way. So it won't be no need for you to try it again, correct? We're not going to have that problem again, are we? See, you got to learn how to grow from these things. That's the whole person doing. But why you don't grow, you stagnate. You use excuses. Something in my mind, something in my head. Garbage. Excuses. Nothing. I don't care what happened to you, just do it. Hello? Yes, sir. What you worried about? Somebody tell me, what's your biggest fear the reason you can't do it? The truth or lie? Which one we going to play? Truth or lie? I got one man said truth. Tell me what you got. You worry about pleasing. I appreciate it. And the average, watch this. How many of y'all here worry about pleasing people? Now, when I just ask these people why their hand went up before. Let me tell you why. I answer for you. Because they were afraid they were going to be the only one with their hand up and somebody going to be looking at them. Because they want to please people. Correct? And them people you worry about pleasing, how many of y'all bills they pay? How much help you get from them? How much they do for you? So again, why were you worried about other people again? See, that's how you do. Let's just really look at the value of what we look at these people. It's human. What you're doing is human. But okay, and exactly what they're gonna do for you? So the people that criticize you going to take care of you and do what? So I really can't put a whole lot of stock in nobody criticizing unless you're going to be helping. And your help will be what? Nigga, I ain't help you do nothing. And I ain't finna get no time to what you talking about either. Because I can't get no resolve from it. See, it's different when you're a critic, but you're going to help. Criticize, help to change. Don't criticize to leave me in the same place because you're not helping me. See, nigga, you won't let nobody help you. Where's the help? Me criticize it, but then I need to know the right way. Like he told them, cry loud, spare not. Lift up your voice like a teruah and show them their transgression and the best of Yaquarah. That way they'll know where they were wrong at. So Yaquarah could get away from it. Y'all got it. The purpose of me telling us these things, so we'll know what we're doing wrong. Let's get away from it so we can achieve the Ruach HaKodesh. That's what we're lacking. Now, therefore, we have this ministry, Shara. Even as we receive, recon, mercy, we do not lose
Live.
So this right here would be also Nakum. Because otherwise we were going to faint if we didn't get it. See, when you read it, pay attention. We receive recon, we do not lose heart.
live.
He couldn't have told you about it. He didn't lose heart before he received something. Why wouldn't I lose? I ain't got nothing. You got to give me something to keep me going. You got to fuel me. He needs to fuel you. Pay attention. I will lose heart if I don't receive something. If I feel like I'm working in vain, why wouldn't I faint? That's stupid. You're human. Don't be stupid. Come on, folks. So you need to follow a certain type of pattern in order to so you can reciprocate. He'll give you something. You can receive something, but you can't receive something when you hadn't done it according to the order. Okay? So he told you we don't lose hope because of the mercy, because of what he's given us, the grace he's given us. Come on.
But we have renounced the secrets of dishonesty.
This is where we at right here. My people, right here, where are y'all? You haven't renounced. Renounce is quit or resign. And that's where it come in at. I know it. I've been there. You don't want to give up everything yet. Move too fast and be uncommitted and say I gave up, stop something, and I wind up going back. So rather than lying to Yahuah, I'm just not going to even say it because I don't want to lie no more. I just want to lie, so I ain't going to say I'm going to stop doing it. Because you know if you commit, then you're obligated. And you'll realize you didn't commit, you ain't going to believe it. He ain't obligated. You know who I can walk up to, Boston, and tell him, I want to get some sex right now. And don't get slapped in the face. Police call. Charge him. Who you think, Boston? Who you think I can walk up and say that to? Yeah, I want some sex right now. No, it'd be my wife. Somebody I got a commitment with. That man said somebody open that conversation. That'd be a prostitute, Boston. Somebody open that conversation. My wife. And guess what? She got to comply, and not with a slap or a kick or police, because we have an agreement. We have a commitment. Y'all got it? We have a covenant. We got a berit. You're trying to get something Yahuah, you ain't got no agreement. I don't have no paperwork. I don't have nothing that's a statute. I need to do all this, what you're asking for. Hello? You just got remember you asked a woman something, they said, you putting a ring on his finger? Y'all remember women say that? Because what they say? They say, you put a ring on his finger, I do that because they look at that. Because that's a similar commitment. Like Tamara did before she gave it up to Yahuah what she wanted. She wanted the ring, the bracelet, and the staff. I needed something that I know I'm going to receive something from this. So you won't commit, but you're still looking for something. He don't owe you nothing. Absolutely nothing. Come on. So we renounce. So this is your problem. How many of y'all haven't renounced the secret things? Secret are things that's not known. That's all it is. How many of y'all haven't renounced the secret things? Truthful, hand. So see, now we can fix some stuff. So listen what he said, how they got it. So now you can look at why you hadn't received the recon. But we have
Renounced.
Back me up a little bit. Therefore, we have this shower, this ministry, even as we receive
Recom.
See that? Because of the recon, we do not lose.
Law.
Let's see why. But, which is rather, we have
Renounced.
the secrets of
Dishonesty.
Now, you're still in that state and you're trying to receive what? So we're going over there because we want to see, is it as hard as you made it, or is it that you really have complicated the situation? Because you don't want to fully open up about where you're at so the man can fix it. It's the problem. What you're lying about, and you might say lying, you ain't forthcoming with everything, so I can't help you. The help is going to be limited. You got it? Because you hadn't fully opened up to be honest about where you are and what you're dealing with and where you need to be. So therefore, you're limited in what he can do for you. Y'all got it? So he tell you what, we let you know, but we have renounced the secret things of dishonesty. That's why he gave it to us, because we were honest about it. We were doing it. People say it's embarrassing for people to find out. I'm telling you what really embarrassed. The fact it's embarrassing, that wasn't embarrassing when we did it. Why wasn't it embarrassing when we were doing it? Well, I know what you're saying. It was embarrassing. That's why I snuck and hid it. Yeah, but you still did it. That's why I looked at with Adam and Yaquarah. It can't be that secret. It can't be that embarrassing because you done it. The fact that you went and you ran and you hid yourself and covered yourself, it couldn't have been that embarrassing because you done it. Because I told you not to do this. Didn't I tell you not to do it? So that's where we at. Okay? Listen what he told her doing. Not walking, halak in
the custom of a heap, nor falsifying the debar of the Elohim, but by the manifestation of a mod, revealing against the da'ath of every being of Ish in the sight of the Elohim.
See that? Elohim seals and man seals. So that's why it was important to renounce it, to quit it and stop it. And he said, we ain't walking on heaps of falsifying the word. And this is what people are doing now, Elohim. They're going to look at a lot of this coming out, this talking to the preacher too. We're not trying to falsify that man's word, but by manifestation of the truth. Manifestation is just making known. That's what we learned that from the light. That's all I'm doing, just being clear about it. A lot of times we do stuff that's so vague, you ain't clear. That's all light means, to make clear. You can go and use element, all that other stuff you want to use, it sound real pretty. It just makes clear. Walk in the room at dark, you say, cut the lights on. Why? So you can see better. That's all it is. So all the manifestations, that makes sure we're clear about where we're at and what we've done. See, the problem is what we're doing is right back to where we've been and shouldn't be there, okay? We done went back and found ourselves right back where they was. What we're doing when the Shema said is something they did every year, is come back confessing and making atonement for themselves when it should have been commended. When they did it, it should have been once and for all. It shouldn't have had to been done again. That was the whole purpose. He kept trying to show them the way you do stuff, you stress yourself more than you do doing it his way. Because if you had just obedience and not sacrifice, he said, we wouldn't even be here today. Because you'd be compliant.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have to put in the time we do for a lot of these things. But because man hearted in is trying to obey and follow, because he always trying to rationalize his not obeying or coming into compliance of the word. He's always trying to justify his action. Same thing with Cain, want to justify, when the whole time all we got to do is comply. Okay? And we've used this for so long and you don't realize it's hurting you now. Because now we coming to the close of business. Everything y'all see going on out here, this thing is wrapping up faster and faster. This man is closing this thing in fast. And you still hadn't grown. Nothing has made you look at, I need to change. I need to get more serious. I need to get honest about what I'm doing. I need to be clear in what I'm doing. I need to make sure this is a priority of me. I don't want to sit here and die and burn. This man gonna flood you out. This man he gonna kill you with a whirlwind. This man got so many different ways he can rap and take you out of here. Why would you keep playing at this point in your life?
That's right.
As late as it is now, why play now? How long you think for this disease from India get him? That's already him.
It's already here.
You think they're gonna tell people that? That in 4 days they're gonna be sitting in a coma? That 23 people contracted and 21 people died from it? Can you hit on numbers? Only 2 survived. 21 of them died out of 23 got it. What's going to be your survival rate when you get it? First, everybody was scared about getting COVID. Oh, that COVID, people died from COVID. Then people got it and got over. See, like that new one coming in, with that mortality rate, 23 get it, only 2 survive. How lucky you been all your life? Well, you had a little rabbit foot, you little 4-leaf clover. You're going to probably be in that 21 bunch. That's why you can't afford to play. He cut the numbers shorter and shorter. And really who people need to blame? They need to blame the way of y'all. They blame all these other places that got knowledge and know better, and members playing around and leaders allowed and not cutting down on it. We all have played a part. Why do you think he intensifying to make it worse? They're the same thing he did when he took them out and he sent them to Babylon. He said they don't repent. He said, then I'm going to intensify. Why y'all think he keep intensifying? Because you're not changing. At first y'all had a fear of COVID. Oh man, this thing coming, we going. Places shut down. Now everybody back up. Oh, my head COVID 6 times. I just got over COVID yesterday. You like, you still got it. And you playing, so now he got to come out with something else that killing folk. In 4 days, you're in a coma. 4 days, you're in a coma. They say things slight, it pop up on you. You don't get none of that. There's no cure. Who attention you think he's trying to get? The world leaders, Joe Biden, Mitch McConnell, Nancy Pelosi. All these folks saying here, nursing home written. No reason why they're Dianne Feinstein, nursing home. These folks got no business in no chamber. Except for a done breathalyzer chamber. And you sit here and you playing around. The man is tearing this stuff down because of us. Because we will not comply. We won't take this stuff serious. So they had to intensify and make it work. People out there suffering, you need to blame the well y'all and all the rest of these places claiming they're right. Because somebody need to hold all these people accountable. Next one. Chris?
And if our tube news has been veiled, it has been veiled to them that are perishing.
You hear that? It's veiled to them that are perishing. Listen.
In whom the mighty one of this alarm has blinded the thoughts of those who lacked Amunah, so that the Yahuah of the glorious tube news of the Mashiach, who is the likeness of the Elohim, should not shine on them.
Y'all hear that? Now, just to tell y'all a situation. You should have probably picked up for him. We talked about Tamar. Y'all remember Tamar? That's the daughter-in-law of Yahudah. She married his first son and he died. He was Roshah. Then his second son, he spilled his seed on the ground because he refused to bring up a child to his brother. She wanted Shelah. But then Yahudah looked at his first two sons had moved. He wanted Shelah to wait till he got older. So he told her, not him. Wait till he get older. Over a process of time, she saw Shelah had started to grow. So what she saw, Yahudah's wife, his issue, she passed. She perished. Well, died, moot. So he was lonely. And he went and he came across her. And when he came across Tamar, she had a veil on. So he ain't gonna believe it. He didn't know who she was. And he laid with her. Now he thought he had laid with her harder, of course, not realizing who he had laid with. So when he came back, and when he found out later who it was, he had gave the sentence that she should be burned because she had played the harlot, he said she had been more just than I had been. Because he realized something. If it had been hid from him, it was hid from him. It's because you lost Yahudah. That's why you didn't know who it was, because you lost. He'll let his affection for having a woman come in, it had blinded his mind. You're not going to believe it, Yahudim. You lost. Mm-hmm. You don't let this stuff blind your mind. And he said, it's intentional, lest the light should get in. It'll make clear. Y'all want to know what your problem is, why you ain't got it, why you ain't where you need to be, why you can come in and sleep, why y'all can play around him. I just been with you. The God, that word, I'm blinded your mind. I ain't know the reason for it. Because he did it for a purpose, lest that light will get in. It'll make clear. It made perfect good sense. And you'll do it. And you'll understand exactly who Yahushua was. He was the image of him. And that thing will shine to them. Let's see what happened.
For we do not preach ourselves, but the Mashiach Yahushua, saying he is the Adon, and ourselves as your Abadim for the sake of Yahushua.
We his slaves. Go ahead.
For the Elohim who said, Yahuah shall shine out of Kashak, is the one who has shown in our lab to give the Yahuah of Da'ath of the Kabul of the Elohim which is in the presence of the Mashiach.
So you see what happened now? What we got to do? For the Elohim, the mighty one, who said, let shall shine out of Kashah, is the one who has shone in our laws, which is the past tense of shine. He shone in our laws. So guess what was in our laws? Darkness. We using Kashah because that's what you're going to parallel with what nature did. See, when he came into the alarm, wasn't nothing in it. You ain't going to believe it. Ain't nothing in your heart. Nothing. Nothing that can be used. It's nothing. He got to come and put something there. So in order for us to understand it, he had to go all the way back to Ra Shyth and let you know exactly where you at. You were perishing. You had nothing in your heart to Yahuah had shined into it. And what's keeping it from shining in your Lord right now is the fact that you've allowed all these other obligations, commitments that you're trying to set up and you're trying to do, and they won't let you see it. You see Yahushua just like everybody else. Somebody fake, false, whatever it is, not real. How we know Shakespeare wrote the Bible. Man, but you believe every other book you read. Shakespeare didn't write Three Little Pigs, Gone with the Wind. None of this other stuff. You just pick and choose what you want when you don't want to apply yourself and do what you've been marked to do for your soul to be saved. This message is not for everybody. This message will tell you this, though. Make no mistake. You know where you at right now. That's where you'll stay until that man come back here and he'll cast you in the pit, long fire. Now you got a choice. That's where you're working from. You're going to continue to keep being that lying person, that hypocrite person, that false pretending person. It ain't got you no benefit. You're going to pay for what you're doing. This is the best time for it to get it right now. Not just because of kafar, just because the day is the day of salvation. They're coming faster than what you're thinking. A lot of us let a lot of things lay on our heart and linger a long time, and it's hurt you. There's a lot of people you try to hold on to that hurt you and felt like they took something from you and felt like they robbed you or something. But how many people did you take from, that you manipulate, that you lied to, that you conned, that you manipulated? How many people have never lied to nobody, never manipulated nobody, never conned nobody, never beat nobody out of nothing? So how you get this chance and nobody else get it? How you that person that get this fair chance, get that clean slate, start over, but nobody else can get it? He has a problem with us. Mm-hmm. He has a problem with us. That means we have forgotten from where we've fallen.
Yeah.
That's why I changed my outlook on people. I don't have time for that stuff. Who going to shit? Listen, the people going to show are going to be willing participants because they just refuse to acknowledge. I'm not going to be one of those people. I acknowledge my wrong, my shortcoming, my hypocrisy, everything I've done, because it ain't worth burning for it. It's worth confessing it, getting it out, converting, changing, so I can be saved in the latter end. Yes, people will look at you, people will laugh, people will criticize, people will have whatever they have to say, but you ain't got to burn with people. We use a lot of excuses in here, and none of them going to help you in the day of my spot. The best thing you do is start considering yourself. Not your husband, not your wife, not your kid, because everybody in different places, they got to make their own decisions. They small now, but eventually, that's a decision they got to make. We raised ours in him. Ever since they were small. This majority of what they knew. One took the avenue to start leaving her 18th birthday. That's where she at. Don't mean we're on a harbor, but I just can't run out and go get you. I'm doing everything I can do to save my own life. That's all you can do. And you know what it showed too? See where your heart at. I don't let people lay on my heart where I can't sleep. I can't rest. I can show you, I sleep the same amount of time I've been sleeping, and I've been going. Because you know what I look at? Just like she made a choice, I did too. I won't want her messing with me about my choice, so I don't mess with her about hers.
That's right.
That people. I'm just being honest. You get mad with people. If people mad with you about your choice, are they right? I can spend better energy, exert better energy making sure I keep what I've committed myself to. I can't make nobody else commit to nothing else. I know this done tired y'all out and wore y'all out, but we just need this so it go on record in the damn mosh pot. A lot of y'all okay with burning forever, huh? Who okay with it? Who not? Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm gonna get some lies. You know why I'm gonna get some lies? Because you're not doing that different if you ain't okay with it. So I want to teach you how to do something that you ain't been doing. Stop lying for the sake of people watching. Tell the truth. You are good with it. If I ain't good with it, why do it? Let me hold for a second. Please just bear with me, okay? I'm gonna slap you. You good with that? No. So why you let me do it? All right, stop it. Go grab it. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, but you ain't good with that. And that's his right. So if you ain't good with going to show, why are you still going? These are choices. Choose you who you gonna serve. Why are you still going? Why is that the path you chose? I don't get it. I'm really concerned. Why is this the path you guys are comfortable with? This your soul. That blood you worry about pouring out, it pours out from a soul. When Cain killed his Abal, don't you know he let him know that man's soul was crying from the Kabal. It was crying from the Adumah. Your soul crying out. It's crying out in you. You know you need to change. You need to do it. But you need to say sorry, no good, lousy excuses. Looking for somebody to blame. He ain't right either. She ain't right. There's a lot of folks ain't right. So when I get the mosh pot, you ain't right, you ain't right. Who I put ain't right? You ain't right, you ain't right. Who else? So he gonna say, you can go in because they ain't right. Where that's at? So why am I trying to use it? How is this an excuse? They ain't right. Where's this excuse going to be used at? How do we buy into the dumbest, stupidest conversation I heard in my life? Everybody ain't right here. So what did that put you with your obligation? Right. Make sure you're right.
That's right.
Why I go with somebody, they ain't right. All them folks ain't right over there, and everybody right where they at? Y'all gotta use your head. Use your head. Stop listening to other folks. Everybody here, this is self. When you come in here to work, I don't care if your kids, wife, who else somebody do, this yourself. This for self first. You gotta make sure you can get it. Just like I told on the airplane, when that oxygen man pat, what they tell you to do? Make sure you put on yours first and you got yours before you try to help somebody else. Do you have your mask on? Why are you trying to help somebody else? Do you have your mask on? Well, the first person you need to be trying to help is yourself. That's two.